honor, dignity, service to others, and respect. During unprecedented times, first responders across the nation are working hard to keep us and our families safe. This week, we take time to pay homage to these selfless individuals across the nation, the ones putting their lives on the line every day for our freedom. First responders, the GNCC Racing Nation owes you it all. From the bottom of our heart, thank you.
It's been a while, but we're back to the woods for round 9 of GNCC Racing in the Mountaineer at the Summit Bechtel Reserve. Nearly 15,000 acres of rolling and rocky West Virginia hills make up today's 10-mile racetrack. Under nearly perfect conditions, 80 degrees and partly cloudy skies, Walker Fowler, Bryson Neal, Cole Richardson, and the rest of the gang are rested and ready to kick off the final leg of the 2020 championship. In remembrance and honor of the tragic events that took place 19 Septembers ago with the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center in New York City, it's Saturday, September 12th, in the greatest nation in the world, and we're racing. With that, Racer Productions, RacerTV, and the entire GNCC Racing Nation salutes our first responders. We are racing for you. Now get ready, because 10 seconds, the green flag, and all of today's pro quad action are coming up next, live on RacerTV.
Are you ready to go GNCC Racing? Welcome to RacerTV.com for round number 9 of America's premier off-road racing championship, the 2020 GNCC Series, presented by Specialized E-Turbo Bikes. It's you, only faster. I'm Rodney Tomlin, along today with Megawatt Matt Watson as we roll into the hills of southern West Virginia at the Summit Bechtel Reserve for this 9th round we call the Mountaineer GNCC, being presented to you today by our good friends at Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com. Get ready. And as we roll into the latter part of the 2020 championship season, a lot of things up for speculation and a lot of things also getting exciting as the championship winds down. Of course, we saw that Walker Fowler last time around captured his 60th win after 2 straight losses there after capturing the 59th win, and it seemed that maybe the riders were starting to get into Walker Fowler's head, but I'll tell you, at the high voltage GNCC, it was Walker Fowler's day. Once he got out front, there was no looking back. He maintained a lead of 30 to nearly 1 minute, 30 seconds to 1 minute, and of course with that, he was really rolling, and at the checker flag finished in an amazing 1 minute and 14 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Well, to say that right there got Walker back in his winning ways. It also presented to us a great championship, second place battle shaping up between Cole Richardson and Bryson Neal, as well as both these riders have had some pretty great finishes. Consistency, though, is going to be the key for either one of them, and the one rider that everyone can always seem to be looking out for is Jared McClure. McClure also a bit of a threat every time the green flag waves out there, but like we said, at the high voltage GNCC, win number 60 for Walker Fowler, he was able to capture that historic win, and today he goes for win number 61. The big question is anybody going to be able to stop him? I know a lot of folks are chomping at the bit. There are some rumors out there that maybe Walker Fowler might be coming into this one a little bit injured. Rumors are that he cut the tip of his ring finger off right after the break began, but it's been a little bit of an issue for him, so some of the rumors go. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out on the racetrack today. Should be an interesting one, no doubt about it. This racetrack also a very interesting one here in the hills of West Virginia, so make sure that you stick around, because right now, Jared Bolton gives us a course description.
Thanks, guys. Feels so good to be back GNCC racing, and what better place to do it than right here at the Summit Bechtel Reserve. This is a beautiful facility. The Boy Scouts, they've got a ton of awesome opportunities when they come here. There's rock walls, BMX tracks, there's all sorts of stuff. But when we come for GNCC racing, we're headed out in the woods. What are those woods like? Well, this is a tough course. It's almost tougher than snowshoe. Not quite on the snowshoe level, but it's pretty tough. It's technical, it's very rocky, it's not very fast, and then you do get out in the open and get some faster stuff that'll give those guys a chance to catch up to the guys who excel in the technical stuff. But overall, this is truly a technical rider's course. Beautiful weather this weekend. This rain stays away throughout the weekend. Right now, it's slowing down, and hopefully we get more of this weekend. Great race, great course. Back to you guys.
Well, thanks a lot, Jared. That right there shows us that we've got some challenges as far as the track is concerned, but it's going to be a fun one, and it's going to be an exciting one. Stick around as we'll continue with more GNCC Live after this.
When you crave the canyon passes, rocky trails, rutted tracks, the podiums and personal records, it becomes part of you. The choice now is, do you become a wanderer or the wanderer? You just need to ride where you belong.
At the twilight's last gleaming,
whose broad stripes and bright stars
through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Well, there you have it, folks. Our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, as we celebrate our first responders here this weekend. Thank you once again from all of the bottoms of our hearts here in the GNCC Racing Nation. And as promised, folks, now it is time for our course description. And with that, one of our junior trail bosses and, of course, co-course designers, Mr. Jared Bolton.
Yeah, thank you, Rodney. I'll be quick because I know you guys don't really like listening to me. I'm just kidding. honestly, great track. It is pretty tough. I'm not going to lie. There's some pretty tough spots out there, but the morning route, a lot of what you guys are riding, and you guys are riding just a little bit extra than them. So you guys shouldn't have it too much trouble with this. You're going to take off from the start here, work your way basically down in the woods, kind of back around the start here, and over towards the pro pits. You're going to bypass the pro pits off the start here. You're going to go the same way the morning went, back in the woods, back behind the pro pits, and then you're going to bypass the finish line. Good woods section, take you out to the 1 mile mark, couple little rocky spots through there. After the 1, you're going to drop down, you're going to pick up kind of a fast section. It's got a couple of little muddy spots, a couple of little dips, so be careful your first time down through there. Learn where all the little soft spots are. After that, you're going to drop down off a hill. Good climb all the way up to the 2 mile mark. Work your way out through there. Basically, the 2 to the 3 is just really awesome, flowy. Couple little ups and downs in there. Really great trail out through there. 3 mile mark, it gets a little rockier. 3 to 4 is kind of you're in and out of a lot of rock and a little more technical trail. And then from the 4 to the 5, it's kind of the same thing. Ups and downs, rocks. Honestly, the morning route, all of this, and you guys aren't going to have any trouble with that. 5 mile mark, you're going to drop back down off, or you got an uphill, and you're going to drop back down the other side. Cross back over a little power line, and then when you guys get to the 6 mile mark, you guys are going to split off and ride a different section that the morning didn't run. It's pretty technical, couple of little sharp, they're not real long uphills, but you don't get a good run at them, so a lot of momentum. Use your momentum on that. It's real rocky on that section. That'll take you all the way to the 7 mile mark, and then just past the 7, you'll tie back into the morning track, cross over a little road, and then a good technical section all the way out to the 8 mile mark. There's one pretty good hill climb in there. The morning ran it. They didn't have too much trouble with it, so you guys should just zip right up that. From the 8 mile mark back to you're going to come all the way back up to the field here, work your way kind of in and out, some rock gardens and some field back and forth to the 9 mile mark, tie back in where you started at, and then your next time around, you'll go through the pro pits, through the finish line. Really good stuff. You guys are basically at 10 miles. Awesome trail out there. So good luck, be safe, have fun, and pay attention to those arrows, everybody.
All right, thank you very much, Jared Bolton. And as we continue here today, just want to remind everyone, safety first. GNCC Racing, like all motorsports, can be dangerous. Racers, now that you have had an opportunity to inspect the course, have heard the race procedures and a description of the course, if you feel that either you or your machine is not prepared, then now's the time for you to withdraw for a complete refund of your entry fee, no questions asked. It is your responsibility to operate your machine in a safe manner, maintaining control at all times. Remember, extreme caution is required when approaching areas with high concentrations of fans and crew members and family members. Do not take unnecessary risks that endanger the safety of the crew members and family members and fans. Remember, you will be penalized for reckless racing. On that note, race fans, family members and crew members, due to the nature of GNCC racing, there is no fence barrier around the race course. It is your responsibility to keep yourself and your children a safe distance from the race course. Never turn your back on oncoming racers, and remember, stay off the racetrack. And finally, for the safety of everyone, unauthorized drones are prohibited at GNCC and will be confiscated. And folks, with that, let's get them fired up and get ready to go racing here at the Mountaineer GNCC. We'll have a couple moments here to warm up. Ricky Towery informing the likes and the crew that we're down to about 2 minutes or so before we'll get things going. Once again, reintroducing you to our starting lineup from today's racing action. Walker Fowler coming into this one, leading the points. Bryson Neal, the number 2 from Bidwell, Ohio. The number 3 of Chris Borch from Sunbury, Pennsylvania. Cole Richardson on board, the number 4 from Edinburgh, Pennsylvania. The number 5, Jared McClure from Casca, Pennsylvania. The number 7, Newfield, New York's Hunter Hart. The number 10, Johnny Gallagher out of Aurora, Ohio. The 11 of Josh Merritt from Akron, Ohio. The 149, Brent Sturdivant from Montrose, West Virginia. 406, Devin Feehan out of Windsor, New York. The 521, Adam McGill from Waverly, West Virginia. The 701, Greg Covert from Ithaca, New York. The 712, John Glotta Jr. out of Waxhaw, New Jersey. And the 741 of Myersville, Maryland's Wesley Wolf. And that's your 14-man starting lineup. The field is deep here at the GNCC today, and all eyes turn toward Ricky Towery up near turn number 1. as he signals these riders 1 minute. 1 minute before the start of this Rocky Mountain ATV MC Mountaineer GNCC. All the pros on that front line been waiting the same as we have for the past 8 weeks for GNCC racing to resume, and here we finally are. We've met that weekend, and round number 9 getting set to roll right straight at you in about 30 seconds or so as Ricky Tower gets ready to wave that blue flag. Shut them down, guys. Shut them down. Shut them down. Shut them down. It's time to go GNCC racing. It's been a couple of months since we've been out about in the GNCC racing nation, but I think you folks are all stoked and ready to go. So I'm going to ask you, are you ready to go GNCC racing? Well, we do feel ready, but I think we're more ready than that. So I'm going to ask you one more time, GNCC Racing Nation, are you ready to go GNCC Racing? 10 seconds. And row number 1, the XC1 Pro, will be off and rolling at the Mountaineer GNCC. Riders rolling into the first turn. Whoa, it's all black. He's an intimidator out here today. It's the 149 West Virginia's own Brent Sturdy out front. And it looks like Walker Fowler right behind him in the number 2 spot with the number 2 of Bryson Neal opening up in that number 3 ride. Now to the XC2 Pro-Am. Riders like Drew Landers, Tanner Walker, Charles Dunn, Kenny Schick, Braden Owens, Levi Cohen, Noah Mickelson, Daniel Peters, Wyatt Wilkin, Dylan Walraven, Austin Abney, and Ronnie Rush in 10 seconds. And they're off. Road number 2. Rounding first turn as they slice and dice. It's the WFR Lands Mill XC ride of Drew Landers crossing the stripe first, but it's the number 400 of Noah Mickelson moving into the lead on that Phoenix Racing Honda. What a start for the MXer as we get set to go down to row number 3, the Junior A 22 plus class. Nick Davidson, Justin Miller, Jeremy Ladon, Caleb Edwards. 10 seconds. Zach Wright, Alex Elioff, Dylan Taylor, Alan Blabos, Emily Wise, Mike Isaacson, Chandler Berner, Tyler Miller, Jonathan Cryambo, Anthony Herring, Michael Ballard, Brody Livingood, and Brett Henke. And around that first turn, they roll, they rock and roll. It's the 896 Brent Henke from Parkersburg, West Virginia, just a little north of us here on I-77. The Vet 830 plus class coming up next. Jeff Pickens, Brad Whitehead, Dirk DeCesar, Chris Conklin, Aaron Hendershot, James Green, Tommy Kuntz, Zach Phillips, and Mike Lancaster in 10 seconds. The 30-plus class rounding the first turn, and it's going to be the 408 of H.A. Kuntz out of Ortana, Pennsylvania, to BNR Motorsports, GBC Motorsports Power Mad Bag Machine. As we go next to the Senior A 40-plus class, Hardcore, Jeff Harvey, Shane Worth, Ed King, TJ Barrett, 10 seconds. Brian Foltz, the brothers Batson, the Markendale Batson, and also welcoming back Todd Muscala, the Marlboro man, up now into the Senior A 40-plus class. So he was a 30-plus rider, now moving into the Senior A class here late in the season. It'll be interesting to see what Muscala can pull off here as the 361 grabbing the early lead out here of Ed King from Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, that Jim's Racing, Hauser Racing, Barnhart back Honda machine. College A class coming up next as all attention turns once again to Ricky Towers. He lets him know 10 seconds. Dalton Keys, Grayson Eller, Alex Thean, Trey Seifert, Davis Brinson, Cody Forrester, Chase Allen, Gavin Jenkins, Zach Wright, Max Lindquist from the ATV motocross racing world, Devin Masters, Corey Vandeliner, and Steve Harrell. Around the first turn they go, and the 510 of Gavin Jenkins out of Laurelville, Ohio, and a Moose Racing graphics by Edge. CS Heating and Cooling Back Machine will grab that at least early lead. I know he had plenty of company, though, coming as we get set to roll next in 10 seconds. For our Junior B22 Plus class, Nick May, Zach DeNoble, Chris Leak, Jake Dial, Michael Hauser, Tyler Foster, Justin Cotter, Corey Pancake, Stephen Hunnam, Jacob Allball, Sean Newhouse, Travis Raphael, David Leary, Steve Martin, Jarius Speakman, and Henry Moore rounding the first turn now, sorting it out. It's going to be the 4-1-1 of Jacob Allball from West Milton, Ohio, on a JPMX B&R Motorsports LSR backed machine. The Vet B30 Plus class, Nathan Tickle, Daryl Short, David Kite, Ben Dunlap, Jason Ellis, Alfonso Mendoza, Cody Holcomb, Dave Ashby, Wesley Smith, Nick Kazmarski, and Cody Stewart. 11 riders, Vet B30 Plus class. Trying to get it off a little bit further out of the way by direction of Ricky Towery. Our start man, he says, get her closer to the inside. 10 seconds now for the Vet B30 Plus. From a still quiet to a thunderous roar. The Vet B30 Plus class rolling in and through turn number 1 now. 8:13 of Cody Stewart out of Pleasant City, Ohio, backed by B&R Motorsports. Also IMS and GBC. Senior B40 Plus class, Greg Phillips, Scott Wilhelm, Daniel Dakota, Ivo Pahalek, Jason Flaviano, Bobby McCauley, Kenneth Yarbrough, Nick Lambruno, and Robert Stevens all ready to roll. Around that first turn they go. It's the 582 Nick Lambruno from Morgantown, West Virginia on a Bruno Racing. Morgantown Power Sports Stuck Throttle Racing backed ride. College B coming up next. 10 seconds. Stan the Man Johnson, Bryce Husband, Ryan Miller, Braylon Shakira, Trey Redmond, Ramey Wilkinson, Luke Wilson, Dominic Stevens, Jacob Fleming, Darren Sheets, Hunter Godsey, Alex Nelson, Chance Hickey, Ben Neville, and Caden Ryan. It's the 125 Bryce Husband from Shelbyville, Kentucky. Not too long ago, last year, as a matter of fact, this young man was in the youth ranks. Riding College B, GBC Fly, Podium Design, all bringing you that young man. And that looks like that's going to do it as we roll through our starts here. And round number 9 well underway in the hills and mountains of southern West Virginia here at the Summit Bechtel. We still need to keep the start clear. We got a couple of guys that are trying to get started. Those of you on RacerTV, we'll join you back here in just a few moments. Stick around. GNCC Live continues right after this. Race fans, please be aware that we've got machines still trying to get fired up on the racetrack out there right now, so please.
Honor, dignity, service to others, and respect. During unprecedented times, first responders across the nation are working hard to keep us and our families safe. This week, we take time to pay homage to these selfless individuals across the nation, the ones putting their lives on the line every day for our freedom. First responders, the GNCC Racing Nation owes you it all. From the bottom of our heart, thank you.
When you crave the canyon passes, rocky trails, rutted tracks, the podiums and personal records, it becomes part of you. The choice now is, do you become a wanderer or the wanderer? You just need to ride where you belong.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Cometic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment. Whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends, professionals and enthusiasts depend on Cometic. Cometic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
It's hard to put our adventures on hold, but now is the perfect time to prepare for their return. AMSOIL has your back with fast, free shipping, and ordering has never been easier. Just look up your vehicle, select your product, add an oil change to your cart, and check out. Spend $50 on AMSOIL products and shipping is on us. Order now at AMSOIL.com.
Live coverage of the 2020 GNCC series on RacerTV.com is brought to you by MMI. Get there faster, smarter. Specialized turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com. Get ready.
Well, hello, GNCC Racing Nation family. We're glad to have you here at the 2020 Mountaineer First Responder Salute Race. We are here in Beckley, West Virginia, and it has been an amazing day of racing so far. But right now, it's all about our pro class. And early leader, Brett Sturdivant, now in third place. No surprise, Walker Fowler on that number one machine rider, making his way into the number one spot, and followed by Bryson Neal.
Oh yeah, well, Walker Fowler did what he had to do, get that good start and make that pass fast and try to open away, but Bryson Neal has done it too.
Yeah, Bryson Neal putting himself into a very good position. Now, you and I noticed it just a second ago. It looked like a brand new section there through the FMF area. And look at this, we've got a replay right now of our XC1. Brent Sturdivant, I believe, getting that whole shot. Brent coming from way on the outside. Look at that, right? Dressed in all black here today. Sturdivant definitely making a statement off of the start. But look what good position Walker puts himself in. Sets himself up to the inside immediately. That puts him off to the outside for a second, but it sets him right back up for the next turn, and it's just a matter of time before Walker puts himself in the lead. Now we have our XC2 start replay. Getting a good jump off the gate here. Not exactly sure exactly who it was that got the whole shot. See if you can identify. They got a little bit of a glare on the screen there.
Looks like the number 14.
And it is.
Yamaha, yeah.
Yep, it is.
Look at that, all the way out.
Look at that, 3 wide through that second turn right there. And I can tell you, as they work their way into this course, what we found out this morning, rock's starting to get a bit exposed. Surface dirt getting worked off right now. Really starting to get rough on the top surface. So going to be key to get out there and get track position early.
Yes, that is one thing you guys want to do here, because the rocks don't play any games, so you just got to try to stay on top of the rocks, I guess.
Yeah, and what you don't want to do is you don't want to make any mistakes in those rocks too, because a small mistake in there, number one, you can break the bike, you can get injured, a lot of things can happen in there. But what is going to happen if you make a mistake in the rocks is you're going to lose time. Taking a look at our track map right now.
10 miles.
What's that?
10 miles
10 miles today, absolutely. That's a great track. Going to race, of course, 2 hours. And today, got a little bit of overcast conditions, right about 78 degrees, right around that 80-degree mark. Not expecting any precipitation, so not going to really see any rain today. which is an awesome thing, and not going to get that blazing heat that we're known for at this time of the year, 90+ degrees. So going to be a lot easier on the bikes and the bodies today. And as you take a look at that track map, as you said, 10 miles, going to be a challenge for both the bikes and the competitors. Got to make the bike last 2 hours, got to use that strategy. Going to be a big game in the pits today, I'm going to believe. Going to be a lot of strategy on gas mileage and pit stops.
Oh yeah, and one other thing here, before we actually came here, it started raining a lot, so track is going to be in worst conditions possible. As you guys saw in the last on the last screen, basically there's mud. It's like that all race, just a lot of mud and sticky mud that will later just stick on to your gear, your bike, and just make you heavy.
Yeah, it's a thick, tacky mud. It's a heavy mud.
Oh,
It's not that wet, drippy stuff that falls right off the bike. Once it starts adding up, the bike gets heavy, the helmet gets heavy, controls are hard to use, the shifter, the clutch, the throttle, that type of thing. So always comes into play here, and always have a pretty fair size mud hole down in the bottom. Taking a look now at the big bridge, had the opportunity last night, went on the big zip line last night. Caleb Russell and his dad, Tim Cotter, myself, Jeremy Holbert, Derek Garcia, a bunch of us. It was dark as could be. Couldn't see your hand in front of your face. 3/4 mile down off the top of the mountain, through the woods, and out over the lake at 60 mile an hour. It was quite the experience. I'm here to tell you, if you guys haven't done it, haven't made it over to the zip line, you absolutely need to do that. One of the many beautiful features here, of course, at the reserve. Now back to the racing right now. As you mentioned, you can see that clay surface right there. It's a bit of a topsoil, but what happens is it gets packed down. Then it starts getting slick and greasy from that surface. And then when you do find that mud you're talking about, it is not a soupy mud. It's an extremely heavy mud that slows everything down and weighs everything down as well. Coming into this round right now, Walker Fowler sitting on 6 wins. Walker Fowler sitting on 6 wins, 230 points. Bryson Neal in that second position. He got a win at round number 7. And, of course, Cole Richardson, the Cole train, came alive in round number 8. Now, he's had several second-place finishes up to this date, but he came alive in round 6 and got his win for the season. So 3 different winners here. We're going to make it 4 today.
Hopefully, because, it's fun to see some more competition, especially between the pros, because the pros, that's where everyone just looks up to. So the more battling, the more entertainment, I guess.
Exactly. That's exactly how that works. Taking a look at our Skycam right now, you can just see the beautiful facility here. I forget exactly how many acres. Didn't see it in my notes right here, but absolutely phenomenal facility. We've raced lots of places over the years. Been to lots of sportsmen's clubs, been to lots of reserves and that type of thing. But this is one of the premier facilities. We've had the fortunate luck of racing at several ski slopes over the years, at Wisp, at Snowshoe, several different places. And sure enough, here we are down at the Scout Reserve, and it's just an absolute beautiful, beautiful facility. Trying to find 10,600 acres. Knew we were right in that neighborhood somewhere, but it's absolutely amazing. And to say that's here in the heart of West Virginia, that's exactly where this facility belongs. We were made for this. That's what this terrain's all about. And it's such a testament to the community and the people in the area and the state for putting this together and making this happen.
That's what you don't want to do off the start of the race. Getting stuck and having to push your bike, you just lost basically all your energy for, the first 2-3 laps.
Yeah, we're early into this one, and Ryder definitely having a bit of trouble on that small climb right there. When you have to dismount the bike, roll backwards, nothing good comes of that. Next thing you know, you are several positions behind. And before this young man's done, he's going to have a lot of work to get himself back in the hunt today for sure.
And the thing with this soil, too, is more the riders go through it, the deeper it gets. Just does not stop getting deeper. It's going to get to the point where the quads are just going to have to try to get lucky and kind of float over, because I was at the track today, and I'm going to tell you, the rocks, they're not kidding here. They're exposed, slick, and they're pointing out. So the quad riders have to be smart. And that's Bryson Neal, who took, I think he's the leader, right? I'm pretty sure.
If that's our leader, it looks like Bryson Neal. Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
so
look
Bryson
at that.
Neal has take first place from Walker Fowler and has opened up the gap Until what, though? Oh, there's Walker Fowler.
So here we are at mile marker 6.
Oh, yeah.
Sturdivant had the early lead. Walker Fowler comes to take the lead. Bryson Neal was just back there basically stalking him, but I got to wonder, was there a quick mistake from Walker? Did Walker blow a turn? Did he spin somewhere? Going to be interesting to see. Or did Bryson just have a really good line and he's carrying the speed? Some of those ruts you were talking about a second ago, you're going to see wagon ruts, what I call them. You're going to see those 2 ruts continuing around this place, and they are going to get deeper and deeper as the day goes because it is a soft surface. We're down here in the bottom of the valley, basically on top of a mountain, but we're in the bottom of the valley by this mountain. So take a look right there. You're going to see that really start to develop. That's mile marker 6. We just saw the leaders come through there, and they are definitely gapping the rest of the field right now.
Oh, yeah. To be honest, here it's more of a consistency than because you have to be smart and all, but here's most likely consistency to take the win. And Bryson Neal, that's what he looks like he's doing, and I'll for sure see how he made the pass on Walker because that YouTube channel that he has posts all his GoPros and stuff, so I'm going to be excited for that one.
Yeah, very good point, Ryan Amontio and Rodney Tomlin joining you guys into the booth now. You talk about consistency, and you know what's really neat is I was doing some voiceover work for MAV TV for the ATV races, and that's one thing, you know, you go back and you look at Bryson Neal's results from this year, consistency seems to be one of the key factors for him. If he's not winning, he's a second, third, fourth, fifth, he's a top 5 guy no matter what. And you rarely ever see him finishing outside the top 5. And most of the time, it's on or near a podium position all the time.
To cement what you're saying, Rodney, worst finish of the season so far, 4th.
Yeah.
So, you know, if your bad day is a 4th, you're sitting good in the point series. But it's tough to beat a guy that, you know, starts the series off with 6 wins.
Right.
Had 5 wins, got 2 seconds, and then that 6th win. But Bryson Neal, 2, 2, 4, 2, 2. I mean, that's as consistent as it gets.
Yeah,
right
no doubt. And that, you know, in under normal circumstances, one might say that would win championships. But we've got a more consistent rider than even that with Walker Fowler. And right now, you know, you bring up the question, you pose the question and the point, what might be happening out there. If you were listening to the opening, we made mention of maybe a little bit of an issue for Walker Fowler with a finger, actually. And I know that's something that he's been struggling with throughout the entire basically the entire break, about a week after the break, and he's had to have a little bit of work. He's kept that hush-hush, and that's one thing that he's been trying to do. And I guess I kind of let the cat out of the bag, but all the riders that he's competing against right now are on the track, so they have no idea right now what's going on.
Like Walker said, if Rodney knows, everybody knows. So, well, and then you made an interesting point last night. You said, you know, you talk about a finger, and that's a common injury for motocross, for off-road enduro riders. That's a common injury. And you said, you know, a finger, you work around this and that, and then you grabbed a hold of the grip on your quad.
Yeah, I grabbed a hold of the grip on my quad, and all of a sudden I recognized, oh my gosh, that is one of the key points where his issue is. Basically, just to give you an idea, the tip or the fingernail part of his ring finger got basically cut off. And so he's missing that little bit, and not only is he missing that, you got to think that it's a little bit tender right now. So if he's hanging on, I mean, if he's able to finish this race today, I'll be completely surprised. But at the same time, I won't, because I know the heart, I know the desire and the drive that Walker Fowler rides with.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, the numbness, the tingling, going to be a factor, dude.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll be keeping an eye on that, and it may not. I mean, like we said, I was talking to Walker. I said, the funny thing is, I said, you learn to adapt. He said, yes, you do. You learn to adapt very quickly. So we'll see if that's the case, if he adapts quickly. And, you know, that may not even be a factor in today's race either. I mean, you got to take into account Bryson Neal has been very hungry. Bryson Neal's been one of those riders like Cole Richardson that has been able to keep a very close-knit wow, what's going on with that TV screen? Oh, that's the TV itself. I thought something was on the lens there for a second. But, you know, Bryson's been able to keep Walker pretty honest this year. So is Cole Richardson. This might be Bryson Neal's day, basically, the way it boils down, at least this part of the day.
The way he's been riding is very possible, Rodney. And I got to tell you right now, the guy who steps up, the guy who makes something happen, any of these guys up here front, Bryson Neal, Cole Richardson, Jared McClure, Chris Borch, it's not because there was a bad day for Walker, because these guys work and they put in the time and they have the ability to get up there and win.
Mile marker number 6 here at the Rocky Mountain ATV MC Mountaineer GNCC in beautiful West by God, Virginia, my friends. Not far from where Snowshoe is located, not far from where Davis, West Virginia, the home of the birthplace of GNCC racing. So here in the southern hills of West Virginia, mountains of West Virginia, this is old school GNCC. I mean, you talk about where it all began. This is where it all began. This is the types of terrain that riders in the early days had to face all the time before we started going south and down into Florida and places like that.
And I got to mention that you mentioned his name earlier, but we've got royalty in the KTM pits this week.
Oh yeah.
And Mr. Four-Time himself, one of my heroes as a child, Mark Hyde, Mr. Blackwater, Mr. Four-Time, and I got to tell you, when you talk about legends, when you talk about regions, when you talk about terrains, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Virginia, all these areas around here produced a lot of great riders. And before there was GNCC, there was the 100-miler series.
Right, exactly.
The Brown Jug, the Big Bear, the Blackwater.
Yep.
And I got to tell you, folks, they weren't 3 hours. They were 100 miles.
It might
they
take
were 4 laps of 25 miles, bro. And just good to see Mark Hyde with the situation right now. The test rides and the demos have been delayed a little bit across the country with KTM. That allows him to be here.
Yep.
He's got the same truck. They've got the parts, the supplies, the support for all their young riders. And any time that you've got Mark Hyde offering assistance or advice, you better take it and consider yourself lucky.
No doubt, and that is a program that will be here for all the KTM riders throughout the remainder of the season. Is a KTM amateur support truck, so if you have emergency situations that arise on race day, they can help you out over there. They've got all kinds of details and information. We encourage you to stop on over by and see Mark Hyde and all the folks over there at the KTM display truck. It's on Vendors Row. It's a display truck. It's not the factory racing rig on Pro Row. It's across. So check that out. They'll be out in full force for tomorrow. Watching this racing action now here from this mile marker number 6, a little past the halfway point in this one, Megawatt. And just taking a look at course conditions, you can see riders coming out of a small sunny area there back into the deep deeper cover of the woods here in Beckley, West Virginia. Track very hard packed underneath. I also see some shiny spots, which could indicate some slickness out there also.
Yeah, Ryan and I talked about that just a moment ago. What happens is this ground gets packed in certain areas. When you don't have the standing water and the standing mud, this soft ground gets packed down, and all of a sudden it starts getting shiny. And, Rodney, you're going to have 2 distinct ruts, the wagon ruts, all the way around this thing. And as Ryan said, they're going to progressively get deeper over the next 2 hours.
Well, the one thing to point out about the mountains of West Virginia, they will get deeper, but one thing they will also do is expose more rocks, more roots, and more challenges.
Absolutely. Talked to the ladies at WXC over there, and Tracy Pickens told me this place grows rocks. She said, I was watching the rocks grow over the last 2 hours, and what she means there, of course, is they just become exposed. As the dirt gets blown away, as more riders hit them, the rocks get bigger and bigger. And, Rodney, what you have to remember, this isn't a shell, this isn't a shelf rock. This is a jagged rock in here. This is a coarse, jagged rock, and very, very tough on equipment.
Very tough on equipment, very tough on tires. I was making note here not too long ago how much GNCC ATV racing has changed since the basically the invention of the tire balls for the ATV machines. I remember when we used to see tire changes all the time in a GNCC, and rarely, if ever, do you see a tire change on an ATV anymore. It used to be up to 4. It was like that was part of the strategy, was your pitting strategy. Back out here now near the 9-mile markers, our leaders starting to check in here, looking for our leader Bryson Neal to see if he's still got still out point there.
Yeah, you talk about strategy, Rodney. Right now, almost a non-strategy thinking about flats. That's one thing basically I've taken out of the equation.
Yeah, and my point to that is these rocks, riders can hit them harder, and they can ride a much more aggressive pace than what they would have 15, 20 years ago.
Look at that.
Here we go. Here's our lead battle, and that's exactly what it is, my friends, a lead battle. That is Neal out front. That is Walker Fowler. Look at those rocks right now. They are nose to tail as they make their way through this monster mile section of this racetrack out here at the 9-mile marker. And wow, Megawatt, look how close everyone else is behind him as well. Mercy.
Oh, I got to tell you, 5 riders come through there. Is that Sturdivant still hanging on to the 3rd position?
I believe so.
Holy cow, great ride for Brent, local guy. But you can see the similarities between a Blackwater, a Snowshoe, this region right here. And that's what we're talking about, these rocks starting to grow. And look at Bryson Neal. And how good is it to see those fans, Rodney?
No doubt about
how good
that.
is it to see those fans lining up? How about it, Ryan? Good stuff, huh?
Oh yeah, I was there in the morning. It was nothing near what it is now. That's a good change.
So it's good that you get to watch this for your race first thing tomorrow morning then, huh?
Look at this as the riders continue to make their way through right now, trying to get an ID here. Trying to get an idea of exactly. Is that Wesley Wolf?
That's John Glotta Jr. right there.
7-12, John Glotta
Hey, by the
Jr.
way, John Glotta just competed in an ATV motocross race at Lake Sugar Tree just a couple of weeks ago. He actually did pretty well. He had some struggles in one class, but I think he may have either finished, I think he got like a 4th and maybe even a 2nd place.
That kid running number 7-12. If he keeps growing, that's going to be his height. 7-12. Dude, every time I see the kid, he's a foot taller.
No doubt.
Unbelievable.
8 feet tall kid, no doubt. Long, lanky. He's going to be tough. He's great in the woods.
He's a good kid, comes from a great family. Those guys know the racing program. They spent years doing it, and right now, John having a great ride.
Yes, he is, and look for great things out of him. And if he says he's probably going to start hitting a lot of the ATV motocrosses. By the way,
great.
By the way, we also have Max Lindquist out here in the College A class. Max is the leader of the Pro-Am points race, and I think that Grayson Eller is 4th in the AMA ATV motocross in that Pro-Am class. All good buddies and everything. So Max says, I'm going to come over and try that GNCC thing. So they got started out there. By the way, that College A class, very intense off that start. Those guys, wow.
you mentioned Eller a second ago. What a future that kid's got. What potential. Got a great head on his shoulders. His direction,
He's been racing,
his focus.
GNCC 2 years now?
That's it.
Yeah.
Through the pits. What's that say? I think that said focus. I'm not sure.
Probably. Good thing to do early in the race, because what happens, get that heart rate up a bit, get out front, as you know. Things start to happen in a hurry. You start hearing things and this and that. You have to focus. You have to let the race come to you and race forward. Do not worry about start of it. Do not worry about Bryson. Do not worry about the Coltrane until you see him.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're nearing the completion of lap number 1 here. We are, wow, look at this. I see almost 31 minutes already into this race, so we're probably going to be looking at a 32-minute lap time as Bryson Neal checks in the finish line chicane at the completion of lap number 1. So you'll say almost by himself, but still a few seconds back there is that number 1 of Walker Fowler. 3.105 seconds is the difference between the number 2 and the number 1 as they wrap up this first lap. Here comes 3rd place now. That is going to be Adam McGill.
Third, wow.
Yeah, McGill, followed by Cole Richardson and Jared McClure. And I guess Brent Sturdivant must have gotten lost along the wayside. No, I don't believe that is.
He had on the all black. I thought McGill's wearing a similar outfit.
Yeah, and actually, Sturdivant looked like an intimidator whenever he came around that
might be
first
him
turn.
there.
Yep, there he is. That's him. So we'll see where he's fallen from since taking the whole shot in this one some 10.5 miles or so ago and about 32 minutes ago. Wow.
The West Virginia native in 3rd.
Yeah.
What was his last race? I don't remember.
And you know, a couple mountains over, they call it McGill Hill.
Well,
oh, yeah.
I'll tell you. Well, if you remember, McGill finished podium. If you remember how this one finished up at, let's see, he took 3rd place in South Carolina at Camp Coker. As he was coming around on the final lap in the final chicanes, he started running out of gas. Jared McClure bumped into him, got him restarted within 20 feet of the finish line, and McGill was able to capture a 3rd place position finish.
How about that bike pop start? You normally don't get a quad to bump start on flat ground or this or that. The thing had already ran out of gas and quit. There was enough fuel in that system that when that thing sparked, it went the last 20 yards. And big break from McGill. But I'll tell you, good to see him, like Ryan said. West Virginia native up here, knows this kind of terrain, been in the game forever, lives for the kids, and glad to see him and his dad out here having fun.
You know, one name that I don't see popping across our charts right now is the number 3 of Chris Borich. I was going to say we've got a fairly familiar top 5 with Borich, Neal, Fowler, McGill, and Cole Richardson, along with Jared McClure. But, oh, wait a minute, they got Chris Borich now up front. So evidently maybe his transponder not checking in. So let's see where they scored him at. Yep, 6th place. Okay, so we missed him visually, but they caught him in the backup timing and scoring. He's about 13 seconds right now back of Jared McClure, your 5th place ride. So it's Neal, Fowler, McGill, Richardson, McClure, your top 5. Chris Borich, 13 seconds out of the top 5. And Hart in 7th, Greg Covert 8th, John Galata 9th, Brandon Owens. Wow, that's the XC2 Pro-Am leader, rounding out the top 10. And as you said, where are we at? Mile marker number 1, looks like we've got still Neal, and not much of a change there. Walker Fowler's keeping a very steady pace back at second. I don't think he wants to let Bryson Neal get too far ahead, because that right there will be when the confidence starts to rain down.
One thing I saw, I'm not sure if you guys saw, but Bryson Neal has no goggles.
No, I did not. Didn't notice that, and I can't for the life of me figure out why he would be without goggles at this point of the race.
I was busy concentrating on that little stump on the inside right there.
Yes,
that thing's going to get big. It's going to get exposed here real soon, and it's going to catch somebody by surprise.
Well, we saw visually there going by Chris Borich on board the number 3. Here comes also, looks like Hunter Hart, Greg Covert, and John Galata checking in the 7, 8, and 9 spots. Back in 10th place, I believe physically would be Britt Sturdivant, but how about it for the XC2 Pro-Am, as we've got Brandon Owens, Austin Abney running 1 and 2 in that class, 10th and 11th overall right now as they roll through that first lap of racing. Checking back to 3rd place, Drew Landers, number 14. Landers, if I'm not mistaken, had grabbed the early lead in this one, so dropping back to a 3rd place position seems to be a little out of the ordinary. But I will say this, was talking with Drew Landers' pops there last night, and he said, you know, during the COVID break, that 2-month period, that 8 weeks that we were off, he said something happened that kind of got into the head of Drew, and he just couldn't get the flow, I guess you could say, through what was, I guess, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. He was running good, consistent races, but he wasn't in those winning positions that we're used to seeing him in and challenging for the wins all the time. He said, however, this summer break has been quite good for Drew, and he seems to have gotten his head back on square, but the only way they're going to be able to find out is if they get him back out here on the track. And again, dropping to 3rd, that's no indication that he's got any problems, of keeping things. The way these races unfold, who knows how this is all going to develop.
Yeah, we got a lot of racing left, and we talk about, we're going to see who put in the work, who did their homework in the offseason. Let me tell you, still racing. You're still going to see equipment break. You're still going to see just racing happen, whether they did their homework or not, whether they were doing whatever, you're still going to see racing situations. So there's going to be more to today's outcome than who rode the hardest in the offseason.
Out here at the FMF PowerPoint, and this one doesn't look to be so much of a used portion of the racetrack. It's almost looking like maybe the morning classes may not have ran through this area of race course, starting to get cleared off. And all right, our leaders now a little further down trail here as we're approaching that 2 and 3 mile mark of this race course right now. Looking at the track map right now, these guys have got some pretty gnarly terrain to check out. And speaking of checking out, it sounds like you've been out there already, Ryan. What are you noting from the racetrack? Already you're seeing changes, I guess, huh?
Oh yeah. So especially at that mile 9, that is probably the biggest difference, because that hill, I'm gonna say it's just incredible how it changed that fast, because not that much rocks were sticking out, and most of the rocks were just underground, but your tire can still feel it, but it's not that point where you're going over it physically.
Right.
But I'm just gonna say the pods, they destroy the track.
Well, they certainly make it a bit of a challenge. There's no doubt about that. But anyway you go, 2 wheels or 4 wheels that are being turned back there, you're gonna see the track change over the course of time. There is John Galata once again. Is that the 7-12 still, I believe? Yeah. John Galata's checking in. That is your 8th place position. Right. Looks like that's starting to stretch out a little bit. Remember, we saw those guys a lot tighter in the earlier part of lap number 1 and actually leading into the finish line there. But as we are nearly 2 miles, at the 2 mile marker now, we can see that nearly 10,000 feet of racetrack has changed things up a little bit.
It has absolutely changed things up. Got to look, Rodney, we're 40 minutes in right now. Everybody's made that lap. Everybody's already been across that section. You had the amateur riders through part of the course right beside this. So I can tell you right now, it's going to be go time coming up here in just a moment. We're going to get to that 45-minute mark, and then you're going to have to make a decision. Then we're going to start having decisions about pitting and that type of thing. But you get to that 45-minute mark, all of a sudden you're almost halfway.
Yeah. Yeah, and you will be. And right now we are at 39 minutes. And with that being said, we still got a whole lot of racing to go here on lap number 2 and a whole lot to go as far as this race day is concerned. Will Bryson Neal be able to hang on to it in the mountains of West Virginia and take his second win of the season? Stick around to find out. GNCC Live continues right after this.
Honor, dignity, service to others, and respect. During unprecedented times, first responders across the nation are working hard to keep us and our families safe. This week, we take time to pay homage to these selfless individuals across the nation, the ones putting their lives on the line every day for our freedom. First responders, the GNCC Racing Nation owes you it all. From the bottom of our heart, thank you.
When you crave the canyon passes, rocky trails, rutted tracks, the podiums and personal records, it becomes part of you. The choice now is, do you become a wanderer or the wanderer? You just need to ride where you belong.
Even when you're the best, you never stop striving to be better. With over 40 years of experience in motorcycle sales and service, we know racing. Our inventory of Yamaha motorcycles, sport bikes, dirt bikes, ATVs, and side-by-sides is extensive and constantly changing. Stop by LoJack Cycle Sales today in Tarentum, Pennsylvania, and visit our online inventory at www.lojacks.com. Yamaha YZs. It's why we ride.
Hi, my name is Andrea Lee, the director of On Track School. How would you like to go to a school where we take into consideration how students learn best? Well, we do that because we find if we can build the curriculum around the things you are interested in, you're going to do a better job. The mission at On Track School is that educational success is possible while chasing your dreams. Not only will our staff help students to achieve success, they will cheer you on to the finish line. We encourage you to check out On Track School at ontrackschool.com, where we can help you chase your dreams and still get a quality education.
We are American motorcyclists. We are members of the American Motorcyclist Association. Racers, fans, and crew. We come together for this sport we love, to race together, to grow together. We start young, and not so young. We race motorcycles and ATVs. We become friends, we become family. We compete for weekend bragging rights and national championships. We make memories on the toughest off-road courses in the country and on the best motocross tracks in the world. Some of us aspire to the speed and poise of road racing or the fierce competitiveness of American flat track, and we honor our greatest champions in the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame. Through it all, we cheer, we win, and we lose. We are racing. We are the AMA. Race with us. Be part of the greatest sport in the world. Be an American motorcyclist. Join us today at www.amajoin.com/join-now.
This week in Yamaha history finds us at the 2010 Snowshoe GNCC, where riders like Chris Borch, Donnie Ackerman, Adam McGill, Taylor Kaiser, Chris Bithell, Mark Notman, and many more donned the first few rows with the rising stars of the XC2 Pro-Am class like Walker Fowler, Kevin Yoho, Gabe Phillips, and Yamaha rider Brian Wolf several rows back. In the early part of the race, all eyes were up front on Chris Borch, who in his heyday was one tough rider to stop, especially on Snowshoe Mountain. The challenges were coming, though, from riders like Taylor Kaiser, Donnie Ackerman, and even Johnny Gallagher. Offering some of the most challenging and demanding terrain in a GNCC, Snowshoe has nearly everything, including the occasional surprise. And as the race wore on, it became apparent that a rider starting several rows back had eclipsed the time of the front runners and was in the lead for the overall unadjusted time. As the race wore down to the checkers, the intensity picked up front. Riders like Chris Borch and Taylor Kaiser tried to pick up the pace, but at the checkers, XC2 Pro-Am and Yamaha mounted rider Brian Wolf had finished the race an incredible 54 seconds faster than anyone else, therefore making history, being the first XC2 Pro-Am rider to win an overall GNCC, as well as the first of 2 wins that Brian Wolf was able to accomplish on Snowshoe Mountain. And that's this week in Yamaha history.
And, of course, wow, what a big Yamaha history. You know, saw Brian Wolf earlier today. He's got his kids out racing now, so good to see that the tradition and legacy continues in GNCC racing.
You're going to get a couple of oil changes from AMSOIL.
And that, my friends, is our own GNCC staff photographer, Ken Hill, receiving the AMSOIL Moto Hero Award today, as well as an extra special award from Adam McGill, who raised a couple $1,000 nearly in support of veterans. He does it every year, and he gives it to someone in need and someone that he feels is worthy of it. Well, Ken Hill, father of 2 American soldiers. His wife works at the FBI, and if anybody follows Ken Hill's story, they know as strong and as crazy a guy is, he also has his struggles on the health, and so Adam was like, I want to give him that money. He's my hero. He raised 2 American heroes, and his wife, she's an American hero as far as I'm concerned. So that family is deserving. Ken Hill got the Moto Hero Award, got the award from Adam McGill as well, and I think some nearly $3,400 was also awarded to him as well. So
that's GNCC, bro.
That is $1,200 set of tires from Katani Tires, the GBC parent company there, and also a flag, an American flag, and also $250 certificate from AMSOIL. Our leaders on the way. Is it Bryson Neal still out front?
It is.
It most certainly is. There is the number 2 machine out of Bidwell, Ohio. They call him the Bullet, and it looks like he is right. Look at how fast he's going right now. He is trying to stretch things out over that number 1 of Walker Fowler. Was that Fowler? It just went by still in that number 2 spot. I'm not sure. We'll check out.
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was either.
Nope.
That lap traffic possibly.
Walker's right there. Coming up. It was right there. That's him. Oh!
All right, so that
There we
right there
go.
explains quite a bit. We just got the word from our track crew and producer that McGill has moved into the number 2 spot. Man, there's something about these mountains of West Virginia that give him that extra spark of inspiration out there.
Take me home country roads.
Amen.
I mean, that's how it works for McGill, buddy. That's just the way it is. And he's comfortable, and when he's having fun, which it looks like right now, he's moving through the pack. He's got a good pace going on. And when that guy's having fun, it's bad news. When he's comfortable and smooth and relaxed, he's got the ability to get up there and run at any given time.
No doubt, and to win. I mean, how crazy would it be to see Adam McGill win? It's been a handful of years since he's actually won an overall event, but he's still within striking distance. Write him off if you think about it. I mean, I was starting to write him off a couple of years ago. I thought he was about ready to go into retirement. Then all of a sudden he said, nope, I'm not ready to retire. And since that point, he's been a different rider, I think.
Yeah, I talked to his dad several times. We're in the same neighborhood. He stops by the shop a good bit. And just like we said, the word with those guys right now is fun. They've been through the challenges of it. They've been through the championship wars a million times. Not that they're not still in the championship war, but you know what? They sit back, they've count their blessings, they look at the past, they look how they've been rewarded in GNCC racing and what it's done for them. And right now, a different attitude, a more relaxed pace, and you can see a relaxed Adam is a fast Adam.
It most certainly is. You know, another rider that I haven't seen a lot of or even any of so far has been the 741 of Wesley Wolf. We'll check in with Wesley, see where he's back in 13th place position in the ATV, in the Pro Class, I'm sorry. So tough break for him, having some struggles after a 4th place finish at Lake Sugartree in the AMA Pro ATV battles just a couple of weeks ago. Brandon Owens leading the XC2 Pro-Am class. Austin Abney in 2nd, Drew Landers 3rd, Noah Mickelson 4th, Ronnie Rush in 5th. That was at the end of lap number 1, but our good friend here, Ryan Amancio, says that there's been a little bit of a change out there, you've noted, huh?
Yeah.
Landers
I'm pretty
around.
sure on the 2nd mile, Drew Landers was ahead of Austin Albany, so we should kind of keep our eye peeled for that and see if that is true or if I'm just crazy.
Well, you're not crazy. It's easy to misread and missee things on here on the screen sometimes. So if he didn't, or if he did and he's lost it back, we won't hold it against you, all right? I can tell you if that was going to be the case, I'd have a whole lot held against me. There's no doubt about that. I mean, heck, I missed Josh Toth taking the win there at the high voltage GNCC. Or actually, Caleb Russell taking the win. I thought it was Josh Toth. So
yeah, I thought it was it too. I'm like, all right, he took the win. Nice. And oh no, it's Caleb Russell.
So that's going to be interesting racing coming up tomorrow. But here we are, nearly 52 minutes into this battle now, and we're nearing the halfway point. We're at mile marker number 6, a 10.5-mile race course for these guys. We still got some time to go. 32-minute lap times for our Pro-Am riders, and just over 31 minutes for our XC1 Pro riders. Bryson Neal turned to 31.21 to 31.24 by Walker Fowler, 31.29 for Adam McGill. Richardson in the 31.34, 31.36 for Jared McClure. And, you know, I heard some talking there and the course description, and I don't know, did they bypass the finish line on lap number 1? Will we see a longer first lap than what we saw, I think, or what we will likely see the rest of the day?
It's my understanding that was.
That's what I was thinking too. So, and you might be able to note it from this morning's earlier races. I know we had what seemed like some very long times on lap number 1 of that morning race, but it kind of quickened up after that, right?
Yeah, when we started looking at the amateur race, somewhere around 28 minutes, 27 minutes and a half was, fast lap.
Okay, so, yep, there you go. So I think they started out, they were in the low 30s also on the at the end of the first lap. So that might be an indication that things will get a little bit quicker out here. We got some battling going on back there through some of our other classes, it appears, as we pick back up on point here. And class, is that the battle for the 721 machine? That might be.
That's Galata. Or 712 is Galata.
Yeah, 712 is Galata.
Isn't 714 from XC2? I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah, that'd be Ronnie Rush. So we were watching there, I think, the battle for the XC2 class, and speaking of Ronnie Rush, where is he? He's a rider that's usually a solid part of that top 5 battle as well in the XC2 Pro-Am class. Rush back in that number 5 spot. He's behind Noah Mickelson, the number 400 out of Salisbury, North Carolina on that Phoenix Honda. Drew Landers was third, but we're thinking he's up to second now, or at least it was at one point around Austin Abney, the 703. But Brandon Owens out of Walker, West Virginia. Been tooting this guy's horn.
Yep.
He's a PirateMX.com writer, and I think Megawatt, I may have even talked to him about him to you earlier in this season, saying this is the guy that folks are telling me is one of the next up-and-comers. And he's really kind of proven himself that. I mean, he's not the phenom that I'm sure that folks were hoping, but, man, what a solid rider this kid is.
Yeah, and he's not one of these guys that you're going to find midway back and all this. This kid jumped right in. This kid comes from it. He brings it right from the start. And when you watch the effort, there's no surprise that he's getting the results that he's getting.
No doubt about that, as results continue to stack up, approaching that 1 hour mark. We will start taking a look at some of our amateur and other classes here in just a few moments. I want to do that, but I also want to give classes a chance to check in with at least one lap, and I know for several classes probably still checking in. But let's go ahead, keep an eye on this thing out here. If we got something interesting popping up, let us know. I'm going to give you some of these other class rundowns for you. Let's go ahead and give you the XC1 rundown. Neal, Fowler, McGill, Richardson, McClure, your top 5. Chris Borch is in 6th, Hunter Hart in 7th. 8th was Greg Covert. John Galata was 9th, and Brent Sturdivant rounding out the top 10 in class. He was 12th overall. Senior B40 plus class, Jason Flaviano out of Ohio, a 37-second lead over the 582 and Nick Lembruno. Out of Morgantown, West Virginia, the 232 Scott Wilhelm. Out of McMurray, Pennsylvania in 3rd. The 801 Robert Stevens out of Warren Central, Pennsylvania, running 4th. 449 Bobby McCauley out of Elkins, West Virginia, rounds out your top 5 in the senior B40 plus class, followed by Daniel Dakota and Kenneth Yarbrough in 6th and 7th. That's what we got checking in right now. XC2 Pro-Am again, Owens, Abney, Landers, Mickelson, Ronnie Rush, then Wyatt Wilkin in 6th, Kenny Schick in 7th, Tanner Walker in 8th, Dylan Walraven in 9th, and Levi Cohen in that number 10 spot. College A class, Steve Harrell, there's a new name out of Elk Ridge, Maryland, a 19-second lead over the 409 of Trey Seifert out of Center Hill, Florida. Then it's Grayson Eller back in the number 3 spot. 7:15 Devin Masters from Morgantown, West Virginia in 4th. There is the Pro-Am ATV motocross star Max Lindquist out of Little Swamico, Wisconsin on a Yamaha in that number 5 position. He runs for Weenan Motorsports. 5'10 Gavin Jenkins out of Laurelville, Ohio 6th, and it's Corey Vanderliner, Dalton Keys, Alex Tiemann, and Chase Allison rounding out your top 10 in the College A class. Junior A 22 plus class. Looking at Nick Davidson leading there on board the number 39 from Steubenville, Ohio, over Falling Waters, West Virginia's Brody Livingood, the 831, about 37 seconds back. Alan Blavos out of Parkersburg, West Virginia, the 355 in 3rd. Brent Henke, I believe, got the whole shot in this class, the 896 out of Parkersburg, West Virginia in 4th. Jeremy Ladon in 5th out of Glenshaw, Pennsylvania on the number 99. Then it's Justin Miller, Dylan Taylor, Alex Elioff in 8th, Caleb Edwards in 9th, and Zach Wright rounding out your top 10 Junior A 22 plus class riders. Vet A 30 plus class, Big Papa P. Now look at those rocks as these folks are walking on the trail. Obviously nobody coming at this particular point, but man, they're growing just like they said earlier today. It looks like, Megawatt.
Yeah, Tracy said each lap she come around, the rocks got bigger and bigger, and as you can see, down in between them, extremely loose, and as we talked about, just those square, rough edges. Easy to pop a tire off a bead, not so much just give you a flat, but to pop it off a bead, easy to bend axles and stuff in there. But right now, take a look at the speed at which they're coming through there, Rodney.
Yeah, they're not letting it slow them down any whatsoever. By the way, Vet A 30 plus class, Big Papa P, Jeff Pickens. Tracy Pickens' husband leading the Vet 30 plus class. AJ Kuntz in 2nd, Dirk DeCesar in 3rd, Zachary Phillips in 4th, Aaron Hendershot in 5th, James Green at 6th, Mike Lancaster 7th, Chris Conklin in 8th, 9th place then Brad Whitehead. As we look next, T.J. Barrett leading the senior A class, the 451 from Kentucky. Brian Foltz, the 530 in second. Todd Muscala, new to the 40-plus class, 723 in third. Mark Batson and Dale Batson running fourth and fifth. And Hardcore Harvey, Jeff Harvey in sixth. Didn't know he was a school teacher, though. He works for the school systems down there near West Union. I think Doddridge County might be the county around in that area. Shane Worth in seventh. Ed King in the eighth place position. As we look high above on the Yamaha Racing drone, I think that might be our leaders right there. As I look down, I see that Dayglow yellow helmet that we're used to seeing Bryson Neal wearing, and that looks like that might be the pickup point that we're looking for. So Neal out front in this one, continuing to lead as we roll through this one at the near 1 hour mark now.
And Rodney, there's Chris Borch.
There's Chris Borch. That's your, I believe, fifth place, sixth place ride there. Back there on board the number 3. So we missed the leaders coming through this section, but we did pick him up a little further ahead. It's still the number 2, Bryson Neal, out front of this one. He's going for win number 2 today, man. He's looking hungry. He's looking like he's in a great position to make it happen.
Looks pretty relaxed, Rodney. Looks focused, of course, but not fighting the quad whatsoever when he's coming through these sections. Saw him do a nice little bunny hop there. Ryan and I caught that a minute ago, where he did that little bunny hop over that little gap right there. Yeah. Nobody else did that, you know, and looks like he's flowing pretty smooth right now and pretty comfortable.
Oh, yeah, and one thing
All right.
Okay, so that is for sure our leaders. So one thing I noticed in the fields is the dust. The dust has really got to the point where it's literally above your head. It got to the point where you're gonna have to slow down. When we were looking at our last Yamaha Racing Skycam, it was pretty bad. So is that?
Yeah, it looks like we're heading to an MMI pit stop now as Adam McGill in the lead. What happened to the number 2 of Bryson Neal? So, hey, we said it. Hey, he's still got it in him. He's still got the possibility. There is Bryson Neal, and he's in the pits there. Walker Fowler just ahead of him. Let's keep the camera on that if we can, so we can see who gets out first. We're going to miss that. All right, so anyway, we got. I'm curious to see who's going to get out of those pits first. Will it be Walker Fowler, or will it be Bryson Neal? We know that Adam McGill is out front in this one, and the gator is chomping in the mountains of West Virginia. Who would have knew that a gator would come alive in the mountains?
There's him right there, Adam. He's really feeling it here.
Now
I can't believe this.
Yeah, his machine is listed on my sheet.
Walker Fowler in second. So.
Yeah, he got out of the pits, and there's Neal in third place position. So that's how that sorted out for him right there. And it is on a, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if McGill wrote that down as a joke. But a Kimco is what he says he's right. I'm sure it's probably not that. But nonetheless, he's got one built up to the hilt here, no doubt, as he checks in. Wow. In the lead, Adam McGill, third place position. I'm not taking anything away from Adam. I'm saying he's more than capable of taking wins. I am going to say I am surprised. I was surprised to see him in that third place position. Only surprised because I just wasn't expecting it. Surprised because I don't think he's got the talent to do it. Yeah, I think he's got more talent and more than capable of taking and doing the things that he does, especially something about these hills and mountains of West Virginia that really bring the 521 to life. So Fowler, Neal, McClure, Richardson now checking in that number 5 position as we go through this one. 22 seconds separating third and fourth place positions. So these front 3 are really starting to stretch it out right now. And if McClure is looking for a podium, or Cole Richardson wants to get on one, or even Chris Borch, these guys have got a lot of bridge to gap here now to make that happen.
And talking about Chris Borch, on the screen right there, going through the checkers, what place is he in?
He's sixth place, yeah.
Chris Borch, he has not had the luckiest year this year.
Actually, he is in 7th place. Hunter Hart has gotten around him. Now Hunter Hart is 6th place on board the number 7, and Chris Borch in 7th. Yeah, very good point. I mean, he's had a pretty steady year. He's finished a lot of consistent top 5s, I think, for the most part, and had himself in position for podiums a couple of times. But you're right, it's not the consistency that we're in the fire that we're used to seeing out of Chris Borch, but and especially today, I have to wonder what's going on, what kind of struggles he has going on board that Phoenix Racing Honda, whether it's a mental thing or whether it's a physical thing with him or the bike or the course or whatever the case may be. It could be just a matter of a mistake made here and there. especially whenever you get amped up and get that energy and that anxiety going.
Lapper stuck on the track right there.
And those right there pay huge dividends in what takes place in these races out front. 2 laps down, an hour and 3.5 minutes into this race. Yes, my friends, Adam McGill leads this one as we head toward the FMF PowerPoint in this one. It is, again, Walker Fowler second. There he's Fowler right there behind McGill. We just saw going through there is Bryson Neal still in the number 3 position. And look, it almost looks like the number 521's opening it up. I mean, it's not a huge gap, but he's farther ahead than he was there at the finish line, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's put just a little more real estate, like you said, picking up a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. And I got to tell you, that's all it takes if you have a clean race and you don't make any mistakes. Stay consistent, as Ryan and I talked about earlier. Make sure that you put in good laps. Don't make that crucial mistake. Don't make that critical mistake. And I tell you what, it's going to play in your favor here today.
Well, McClure and Richardson going by there. Also should be seeing Hunter Hart coming by as well here at the FMF PowerPoint.
The thing with Adam McGill is that he just lets the bike underneath him do his thing, and he's in control of it, but lets the bike do what it does. And
you know, and
that's the thing that Brian Wolf does a lot too. I have noticed that is Behan and Gallagher. But like I'm saying, Brian Wolf, he was known for doing that, especially in snowshoe. He just let the bike do its thing and just roll.
You know, some of the top two-wheel riders, you'll see that oftentimes, and what's really neat is, you know, their shoulders and head will stay in one position. Their arms and their whole body will be adjusting and moving, the bike going sideways, flipping around, and so, but the head and shoulders staying pointed forward and staying upright, and that's what we witness as well on this ATV, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Very good point, Ryan Amancio, of what you see, especially in these mountains. He kind of just lets that bike dance underneath him, and he's just kind of a limp noodle on top of it. The bike does its thing, and the momentum keeps going forward.
Yeah, growing up, Gary Bailey, we called that defensive, riding defensive. What that meant was, even though you were charging, you were waiting for that bike to skip or waiting for that bike. Just let the bike go, and you were more prepared. As long as you were focused from the head and shoulders, whatever happened below you, you gave the bike that room. If you were holding on with a death grip and that thing skipped out, well, guess what? It was taking you with it. And so let that bike move. And it takes a lot of guys a long time to learn that, to really understand that. Let that bike move a little bit. But when you see somebody doing it, they stand out from everybody else.
Yeah, very good point. Ricky Towery standing there with the 2-lap board. I'm not sure what's going on there. Our leaders are not due in for another.
Yep,
oh, no, we've got a 2-lap board out.
I thought the 2-lap came out when they went because we were right at 1 hour. When they crossed that second lap, we were right at 1 hour.
Okay, that makes sense.
But he had it up against the pole. He was holding it up against the aluminum pole.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Okay, so 2-lap board is, I was thinking, why are we at the 2-lap board? We should be doing, I thought for some reason.
Oh, there's Adam McGill. Lapper is... Oh, that's not going to help in his favor. And Neal in second, and Walker Fowler.
Yeah, good eye there, Ryan Amancio.
Good call.
Walker Fowler not having the best run today. You usually just see him out front, pushing the limits, but here he just doesn't look like he could push like he usually does.
You know, and this goes back to reckoning with what he has to suffer through here today. Remember, I talked about the tip of the finger being cut off. I'll talk a little bit more expanded about that now that we're deeper into the race and so forth. But basically what happened about a week after we went on summer break, Walker Fowler was working with his skid steer. The door for the motor compartment fell off. He was putting it back on, and it fell, and he was trying to put it back on again, and he expected it to fall one way. Well, whenever it caught or did whatever it did, it went completely a different, and it caught 3 fingers, and it caught the tips of them all, the ring finger taking the brunt of it, and actually having to have a couple of surgeries on it. And what I hear is Walker hasn't even been on the bike until like the last week and a half or so.
So now you're chasing McGill and Bryson Neal. And your grip is what's required here in this last hour of this race, the second half of this race. That's going to be a factor,
and the thing,
bottom line.
Yeah, and the thing to point out is he will be able to adapt and overcome. There's no doubt about it, but it's still tender, and it's still, I think, a little bit of a factor here as we roll through this day. As our checking with our pit stops. Adam McGill, it almost looked like he wasn't even going to stop, but he did make that stop. He's still out front. Is anybody going to be able to stop the Gator of the mountains of West Virginia? Bryce Neal up to second, Walker Fowler in third, McClure and Richardson round out your top 5. GNCC Live continues here on RacerTV.com right after this.
Honor, dignity, service to others, and respect. During unprecedented times, first responders across the nation are working hard to keep us and our families safe. This week, we take time to pay homage to these selfless individuals across the nation, the ones putting their lives on the line every day for our freedom. First responders, the GNCC Racing Nation owes you it all. From the bottom of our heart, thank you.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Cometic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment. Whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends, professionals and enthusiasts depend on Cometic. Cometic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
It's hard to put our adventures on hold, but now is the perfect time to prepare for their return. AMSOIL has your back with fast, free shipping, and ordering has never been easier. Just look up your vehicle, select your product, add an oil change to your cart, and check out. Spend $50 on AMSOIL products and shipping is on us. Order now at AMSOIL.com.
Welcome back to GNCC Live here on RacerTV.com. And as we all know, a big part of the GNCC Racing Nation is the amateurs that race out on our course. And we take a look at some of the results as we take a look at the Bet 30 Plus B class there. We're Ben Dunlap, Dave Ashby after 2 laps in second, Cody Holcomb, David Kite out of Northeast Maryland in fourth, and Cody Stewart rounding out your top 5.
That whole list, Rodney, PA, West Virginia, Maryland, Ohio, Kentucky.
Yep.
All local riders, man.
Yep, big part of them. Senior B 40-plus class, Jason Flaviano out of Ohio, out of Nick Lambruno out of Morgantown, West Virginia, Scott Wilhelm out of McMurray, Pennsylvania, Robert Stevens in fourth aboard the 801 Warren City, Bobby McCauley out of West Virginia also. As we go to the XC1 Pro class, West Virginia rider Adam McGill, Ohio rider Walker Fowler, and Bryson Neal in the second and third place positions. You can flip-flop that now as Bryson has taken over second, I think, at least for a moment. He may have dropped back. Austin Abney out of Indiana. We're also starting to see a lot of Indiana folks out there. Sir. Abney leading Brandon Owens. Ronnie Rush up to third. Wyatt Wilkins in fourth. Drew Landers, after 2 laps of racing, has now dropped off to a 5th place position with Noah Mickelson in 6th. And Kenny Schick not far behind him. College A class, see Steve Harrell out of Maryland, not too far from where we are right now on the 908. The 409 Trey Seifert in second. We're seeing some changes taking place here. Grayson Eller third. Devin Masters in the 4th place position. And still, Little Swamico, Wisconsin, and ATV motocross star Max Lindquist in that 5th place position. Nick Davidson, the 39, Junior A 22-plus class leader out of Steubenville, Ohio. From Paulding Waters, West Virginia, Brody Livingood on the 831. The 44, Justin Miller from Hughesville, Maryland. 4th place, the 896, Brent Henke out of Parkersburg, West Virginia. Big Papa P leading AJ Kuntz, or Thomas Kuntz. He says it depends on how he does, is what name he goes by on that day. Dirk DeCesar in 3rd, Zachary Phillips in 4th, and Aaron Hendershot rounds out your top 5.
Senior A 40 plus TJ Barrett, followed by Brian Foltz. And the Marlboro man moving up from the Vet A class to the Senior A class now in third. Mark and Dale Batson, the brothers Batson out of Michigan and former ATV motocross stars himself, rounding out fourth and fifth place position. Oh, Hardcore Harvey back there out of West Union, hometown of Adam McGill, in that sixth place position. Be sure and check out his podcast. Got a good one going on there. College B 16-21, Caden Ryan, Bryce Husband, fresh off and up through the youth ranks just a year ago. He's riding second. Chance Hickey, the 7-10, and third. Trey Redman in the number 4 spot. Then it's the Junior B class with Jake Allball, Nick May, Chris Lee, Corey Pancake, and Henry Moore rounding out the top 5 in the Junior B 22 plus class. And looking a little further back into the ranks here, the Vet B, Ben Dunlap out of Greenville, PA, Dave Ashby out of PA, Cody Holcomb out of Richwood, West Virginia, David Kite again, and Cody Stewart. I believe that's where we started off with there just a few moments ago, Megawatt. And that is a look at your top 5 or so riders. All right, so just got confirmation that Kimco. We just got confirmation. Someone just told us that he really is riding a Kimco machine, and that's I mean, kind of shocking and surprising to me in some ways.
Show me those engine cases.
Yeah, I want to see the engine cases
Show
too.
me them engine
because
cases.
I know that he's been working with several different engine builders over the years. So let's check it out as we go into this one here. There's McGill, and we're trying to look a little closer at this machine. Look at that.
Just gets right that cap off of there. I love it.
Just gets right out of the way. No.
I got to tell you, body work-wise, it looks very similar to a Honda.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I need to see the cases.
Well, they're off and rolling there, and there goes Adam McGill. Look at that. Now, see, there's Neal and both Walker Fowler there in the pits. Fowler getting out just ahead of Neal there last time I think that we saw. And that's what we were reading whenever they came by the finish line there at the end of 2. Working on lap 3 of 4. 2-lap board is out. We are about 15 minutes or so out from what we expect to see as a white flag whenever our leaders check in here in just a little bit. And Megawatt here just past the halfway point as we wait on the leaders out here. I have to wonder, man, is this anything like what you expected today? I mean, when we come to a GNCC, we may not speak about it, and we may not even have it on the forethought of our mind, but when something happens, usually it's like, oh, yeah, I kind of figured that was going to happen, or, wow, that's kind of a surprise.
No, it seems like a surprise to me. Like I said, I just found out about Walker's injury myself. Knew that Bryson had been riding really hard. Knew that Coltrane had a win earlier in the season, but not what I expected today by any means. I can't say that I saw this coming. Well, any of the action today, I can't say that I saw any of it.
Yeah,
start of it, getting that hole shot and hanging in there. Bryson going to the front right away. Walker to second. Now you see McGill move into second. Then next thing you know, we see him come into the pits leading. So I didn't expect any of those situations.
Not expected, but not surprised at the same time is the way that I'm going to word my statement about this at the halfway point. Because, like I said, I wasn't necessarily counting Adam as a key player into it. I'm not going to lie and say that his name didn't cross my mind yesterday or earlier thinking, maybe, but it was a fleeting thought. I will be complete, a fleeting thought, one that I did not hang on to. So when I saw him in third place, I was a little bit shocked and surprised. When I saw him in second, I was pretty pumped up. And then when I saw him in first, buddy, I tell you, I'm not only surprised, but I'm happy. I'm excited to see what the rest of this day is going to bring to us, because you know he's going to be letting it all hang out. The guys behind him, they are going to be letting it all hang out, because, I mean, I'm sure as great a guy as Adam McGill is, you don't want to lose to him.
One thing that I can tell you on lap number 4 is he's not going to save the bike.
No.
He's not going to preserve the machine. I will tell you that. He will ride the wheels off of it. He will stick that frame into the rocks. He will rip a wheel off of it to get this win. But one thing he's not going to do is preserve the machine on the last lap.
It wouldn't surprise me to see Adam McGill come out of the woods, both front tires ripped off, riding a wheelie to the finish line.
Precisely.
That's how hungry he is and how much desire he has, especially when he's in this position.
Yeah, but like you said, a lot of racing left. We're at mile marker 6 is what we're showing. The leaders have come through there, I believe, already. So they've got about 13, 12 minutes or so before they come back through. And then that white flag is going to be up, Rodney.
Yeah.
So they've got less than 4 miles. They've got about 3 miles till they make it to the finish line.
McGill, Fowler, and Neal should be checking in with those riders here at the, I believe, 6-mile marker here in just a few moments. Let's see what the case may be. There goes McGill go by. Oh, look at this. Nose to tail now. Look at Fowler being pressured by Bryson Neal. And I'm going to tell you right now, Walker may have that injury, and it may be creating a little bit of an issue, but it's not enough to really waver or factor, I think, as far as this championship or even this race day is concerned. I mean, maybe he's not able to push like he normally. Maybe this is the way things would have worked out regardless, you know?
That's absolutely right. We're not going to dwell on that by any means. The bottom line is he's not going to feel that to the full extent until after the race is when he's going to feel it. He's hanging on right now. He's doing a great job taking the heat right now, feeling the pressure. But I can guarantee you one thing. That's not his focus right now.
No,
by no means.
No, not at all. I know it's been a dreaded moment for him, for his competitors to find out that he was a little behind the 8 ball. But when you come out and ride like this, all of a sudden, I don't think that there's any bit of relevance to the fact that those guys are going to feel confident whenever they see he's riding like that and supposedly so injured or whatever the case may be. And what I think is really cool about that, Walker's not making any excuses.
No.
He didn't come in. And I'll be honest with you, Walker said, I'd be surprised if I make a top 10. And everybody laughed at him and said, Walker, you could almost do a top 5 without even thinking about it, you know. So, and most everybody that knew about it was expecting still a podium position finish for him. But nonetheless, here he is, holding steady, in contention for the win, being pressured and applying pressure.
And that top 10's a coy answer. I mean, that's a coy answer. The bottom line is the guy can hang on.
Yes, he can.
If he'll be surprised if he can make top 10. Well, that takes the pressure off if he doesn't.
Guess what? Surprise,
there we
surprise,
go.
surprise.
Exactly. And here on the other end of the spectrum, we're going to get up there and battle for the lead.
So watching these riders go through, is that some of our lead traffic going through right there? I'm not 100% sure there if that was Fowler and Neal going through. No, that's the 6-mile marker, back at the 6-mile marker now. Let's look at these gaps. As we know, in the front 3, all within 6 seconds of each other, they're opening up to nearly a 30-second lead over the 4th place position. That's pretty good. And when you start seeing those kind of leads, I mean, that usually solidifies at least a podium position finish for yourself on the day. And unless something big time happens out here, I expect that this will be our podium. How it will shape up, how it will shake down, and what will it be when the checkers unfurl, that is the question that I still leave wide open right now. And I'm not giving it or taking it away from Adam McGill at this point. I'll tell you right now, does Adam McGill deserve a win today? Heck yeah, he does. Does Walker Fowler or Bryson Neal deserve a win? Heck yeah, if they get out front and cross that finish line first, they do. Because
Absolutely.
They have done everything that they need to do to be right in position all day long. And Megawatt and even you, Ryan Amancio, know as well as anybody, being in position on that final lap coming down to the finish line is where it is when it comes to taking wins.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
you
can go.
I'm sorry, Ron. The perfect example of what Rodney's talking about, Dylan Ferrandis right now in the lights class in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. The guy's the fastest dude on the track at any given time. Guess who's leading the points? Jeremy Martin, the most consistent guy. The second fastest guy most of the time, but he's the most consistent right now, and he's making it happen. So very good point, and that's a good correlation and reference to what you're talking about.
Adam McGill leading Walker Fowler, Bryson Neal, your top 3. McClure and Richardson rounding out the top 5 here at this Rocky Mountain ATV MC Mountaineer GNCC. We got more racing to come, and wow, is Adam McGill going to be able to hang on to this for the win? Will Walker Fowler pull one out of his hat again, or will Bryson Neal go for his 2nd win of the season and 4th win of his career? I don't know. You don't know. Stick around to find out. GNCC Live continues after this.
Honor, dignity, service to others, and respect. During unprecedented times, first responders across the nation are working hard to keep us and our families safe. This week, we take time to pay homage to these selfless individuals across the nation, the ones putting their lives on the line every day for our freedom. First responders, the GNCC Racing Nation owes you it all. From the bottom of our heart, thank you.
Even when you're the best, you never stop striving to be better. With over 40 years of experience in motorcycle sales and service, we know racing. Our inventory of Yamaha motorcycles, sport bikes, dirt bikes, ATVs, and side-by-sides is extensive and constantly changing. Stop by LoJack Cycle Sales today in Tarentum, Pennsylvania, and visit our online inventory at www.lojacks.com. Yamaha YZs. It's why we ride.
Hi, my name is Andrea Lieb, the director of On Track School. How would you like to go to a school where we take into consideration how students learn best? Well, we do that because we find if we can build the curriculum around the things you are interested in, you're going to do a better job. The mission at On Track School is that educational success is possible while chasing your dreams. Not only will our staff help students to achieve success, they will cheer you on to the finish line. We encourage you to check out On Track School at ontrackschool.com, where we can help you chase your dreams and still get a quality education.
We are American motorcyclists. We are members of the American Motorcyclist Association, racers, fans, and crew. We come together for this sport we love, to race together, to grow together. We start young and not so young. We race motorcycles and ATVs. We become friends, we become family. We compete for weekend bragging rights and national championships. We make memories on the toughest off-road courses in the country and on the best motocross tracks in the world. Some of us aspire to the speed and poise of road racing or the fierce competitiveness of American flat track, and we honor our greatest champions in the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame. Through it all, we cheer, we win, and we lose. We are racing. We are the AMA. Race with us. Be part of the greatest sport in the world. Be an American motorcyclist. Join us today at www.amajoin.com/join-now.
What's up, guys? Heath Harrison here. I'm a mechanic for the Phoenix Honda Racing Team. I've been with the team since 2018. I was a rider originally and then transitioned to the mechanic position, and we're here at the GNCC. Yeah, so since I made the transition from being a racer into the mechanic position, it's been honestly pretty easy. I think it's cool for the riders because I can relate to those guys with how the bike's reacting or whatnot, and if it's having issues or not having issues, I can personally get on the bike and kind of go feel for myself what they're feeling. So for that, I think it's a huge help for those guys. It kind of takes some of the guessing out of it, and it's been pretty easy. I started racing professional motocross and supercross in 2010. Did that all the way up until 2019, and then I tampered in and out of GNCC a little bit. I did a couple last year, and then I did a few this year just for fun, and did the Amsoil Arena Cross in 2018, which was the last year they did it, and that was the first year I was with the team, and fortunate enough we did pretty well in that, and yeah, then I transitioned into the mechanic role, and I've been enjoying it a whole lot, so I couldn't be any happier. Thanks for tuning in here at the Mountaineer on RacerTV.
Hey, thank you for being a part of it. Our MMI, Motorcycle Mechanic Institute Mechanic Spotlight. Heath Harrison from the Phoenix Racing Honda team. And back out here on this one, my friends, as we pick the action up in beautiful Beckley, West Virginia. Round 9 of 13. It is the Rocky Mountain ATV UMC Mountaineer GNCC. Our salute this weekend to the first responders. And, of course, yesterday being 9/11, we never forget, that is for sure. All right, looks like we've got our front runners making their way toward us right now. Adam McGill, Walker Fowler, Bryce, and Neal. We'll see what this is starting to look like now as they draw a little closer there. That is not your leaders. You will be able to tell your leaders. You'll be able to tell by the intensity of how fast they come as opposed to some of our amateur riders you see out there. And you'll probably be able to tell by the reaction of the crowd that is kind of hanging out there watching these riders go by.
That's probably him. Yep, that's him.
Yep.
Look at that. Look at McGill, then look at Bryce O'Neill. Look at McGill, how he just lets the bike do its thing, and then look at Bryce O'Neill, he's like fighting with the bike.
You see a little more body movement, huh, Ryan? Absolutely.
And then McGill, he's not wasting as much energy as he is with Bryce O'Neill to try to put that bike where he wants to. You know?
That's because he's using his legs.
Yes.
McGill's using all that lower body strength. Then from his shoulders to his waist, it's just moving, Ryan. As long as you keep that head steady and you're focusing and racing forward, let that bike move.
One thing I'm going to say is the gap from to Bryce O'Neill to Walker Fowler, it's a big gap.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's that finger thing or if just problems really, or just getting tired, which I don't think it would be getting tired. I think it would be more of that finger problem, but it kind of sucks because, you know, he was doing good. He was in third spot, so.
Well, they had a pretty good buffer zone there. I mean, we were looking at 22 seconds back to McClure in that third or fourth place position at the end of lap number 2, and I'd have to think that they extended that lead some over the rest of the field out there. So still out here at the Monster Mile, haven't seen. We didn't see Walker go through, but that doesn't mean that he hasn't gone through. We know that McGill and Neal now nose to tail as they move through this Monster Mile section of this race course and out near the 6 mile marker, which puts us a little past the halfway point of this near 10.5 mile race course.
You say nose to tail. When they went into that last wood section, Bryson held it on for about an extra second maybe and really cut that gap down to maybe a couple quad lengths between he and McGill.
Yeah, it's a bumper to grab bar kind of, so to speak, out there.
Exactly.
One thing too is we got what I basically asked for, because in the beginning of the race, me and Meg, we were basically talking about how it would be cool to see a different rider be up there. Is that dumb?
It is. That is first and second place. We're watching them along the wood line there.
Wow.
That's the
big mistake.
Well, yeah.
That must be a rather off-camber turn right there.
For sure.
It's rather off-camber because you see both riders kind of struggling through that section of the track. You say, well, that just looks like a normal turn. Why are they? Well, there's a little dip down. They slide out. I mean, there's a lot of things going on there.
It's deep, too, Rodney. It's soft right there. My goodness.
Wow, there is Mrs. McGill there, if you will.
Oh, yeah, Mama Gill.
Haley just pumping up and just really excited about her husband being out front here.
Her son.
No, that was
I thought you said his mother. Okay,
no, that was Haley.
That was Haley, yeah, exactly.
That was the Mrs.
Yeah.
There's two Mrs. McGills now. You're talking about the mustache's wife. I'm talking about the Gators' wife.
All right, I'm not going to lie, guys, but I feel like Bryce O'Neill still has that chance over Adam McGill. Oh! You can see it, that frustration right there. But I think Adam McGill, he's really good under pressure, but I feel like Bryce O'Neill has that one chance where I'm not trying to say Adam McGill is going to make a mistake, but I feel like Bryce O'Neill still has that one edge over him because he's the one putting the pressure and he's the one that's in his head right now. So all McGill is thinking is no mistake. Bryce O'Neill's on me, no mistake, and he gets to get to the point where he just thinks no mistake, and he makes a mistake.
Here's the flip side of that. Bryce O'Neill's thinking, oh my gosh, Adam McGill's out front, and I can't. I'm having a tough time keeping pace with him right now.
White flag is out.
Yep.
You followed the West Virginia Madman for 2.5 laps now.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden he's in your head, guys. So Rodney, I see Ryan's point. Ryan's like, this is it. He's not going to hold on for another lap. A mistake's coming. A mistake's coming. But the backside is Bryson's heart rate's through the roof right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he understands that there's 15 minutes to make this happen, and you can get as close as you want. You have to get around. You have to make it stick.
Walker Fowler dropping off to the number 5 position as Cole Richardson has now moved into the number 3 spot. He is 30 seconds off the pace of Bryce O'Neill right now. Jared McClure up the 4th. As we said, Walker Fowler now back in the number 5 position. And looks like things are starting to take its toll here late in the race as we are some 28 minutes away from an expected time frame of a checker flag here today at this Mountaineer GNCC. And I'm not even going to ask the question, but I'm just going to make the statement. This is probably not what we expected to see happening today whenever we saw that green flag wave. Even, like I said, I mean, I'm a little bit surprised to see that Walker is struggling. And again, yeah, it might be the injury that we're talking about, but at the same time, I have to think that, you know, these guys have been doing a lot of work in the off season. Who knows? I know Adam McGill's been doing some riding camps and things like that. And I know that Bryson Neal, when he left out of here, he was super starved. He was super hungry for another win after winning at his home track there in Ohio at the John Penton GNCC. Here comes, I believe this is Chris.
Yes, that is.
Chris Borch now checking in now. So.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, but the one good thing about Walker Fowler is, the thing that's really saving his championship and making it alive still is the 6 wins and consistency of the first 6 rounds.
Yeah.
So that's something that Walker Fowler is going to, oh, is he in the lead? No. All over him.
There they go. And the, like you said, the West Virginia Madman, the madman of the mountains here in Beckley, West Virginia, talking about Adam McGill. He wants to name another one. He wants to have another McGill Hill here, I think.
But the thing with last lap with the pros and stuff, top 3 people, if they see one another, they're throwing everything they have. They don't care anymore about the race. They just want to, you know, just make that pass quick, and it's going to get to the point where it's either they play it smart and just pressure, or they're just going to give everything they got and hopefully get lucky and not, oh, there's Walker Fowler, but not make a mistake, you know? So it's kind of more of a strategy.
Here's the deal, Ryan. On this last lap, that stump we talked about.
Yes.
Some of those rocks we talked about, okay? Run it in on Adam, hook on his bumper. You know, anything, when you're back there pushing that hard, like you said, they're going to leave it all on the track.
Oh, yeah.
Bryson, the bottom line is he's either going to try to win this thing or it's going to DNF.
Oh, yeah.
One or the other. He's going to go for it one way or the other. But you better be on point. You better be paying attention, because that's when that stump will bite you. That's when that banner will get wrapped up in your wheel. That's when that little
where
part.
That problem start coming in.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And one thing, too, when we first take a look at this, it was just grass. You didn't see any rocks, you didn't see any stumps, roots, anything. But now all you see is rocks and like that slick dirt and stumps coming out of everything. So like that's the difference here with the quads. So like the quads, they have advantage on some points and disadvantages on the other. But I'm going to say one thing, Bryson Neal, he's going to give it all he's got. And the thing with Adam, he is good under pressure. I was looking at some highlights of, you know, 2015, 2016, 2014s, and
game film.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Adam McGill. He's a hard one on the final lap. He does not make any mistakes. That's the thing of him. He does no mistake. Always consistent, especially on that final lap where it's hard to do that. He makes it happen.
Let me tell you something, Ryan. When it comes down to it, you talk about 2015, 2016. Adam's been in the game for 20 years.
Yes.
Okay, he's like Johnny G. He's been around. They know it. They understand it. And when it comes down to being a badass, McGill knows how.
He knows,
okay, that's the bottom line. And let me tell you, he holds this thing together. He puts this thing together. Hard to tell what's going to come out of his mouth down there on the microphone.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't wait.
The thing. Oh, and Bryson Neal has made the pass.
Yep, Neal around for the pass. By the way, I just wanted to point out results from last year. Cole Richardson, who is now in the 3rd place position, took the win here a year ago ahead of Bryson Neal and Walker Fowler in 3rd. Adam McGill took a 5th place position here a year ago. So no matter how you slice it right now, McGill certainly got a much better race going on. And just because Neal got around him here in this little tricky scenario that was unfolding there, I don't count out Adam McGill just yet. The Gator, when he gets this close to something and he's this on that short of a win, he's going to be fighting even harder.
Now, Ryan, you say Bryson back there working hard, 110%, throwing everything he can. He made that move on Adam.
Yes.
You think Adam going to take a nap?
No.
Right now?
Because
you think Adam going to bring it right now the last 5 miles?
Yo, Adam, Adam, he's just like Dred McClure. He's that sneaky snake. He's gonna get him somewhere or another, you know? So it's gonna come down to who's gonna put it most on the track.
You know, seeing Adam ride like this today, it takes me back to the days whenever he had the factory. Remember the factory KTM ATV effort that was going on just before the big economy crunch back in the late early 2000s there?
I think thanks to Mark Hyde, I might have delivered the very first one in the state of West Virginia.
Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That is amazing. It might have been to Adam McGill even.
It probably was, to be honest with you.
Speaking of KTM, you, Ryan Amancio, are a KTM rider yourself, and I noticed down on Pit Road there is a new KTM semi out there. They're going to be actually offering some amateur support, I guess, huh?
Yeah, so basically, KTM and Husqvarna, they're making a, I forget what it's called, but they're just helping, what was that?
He's not talking to us.
Oh, all right. But like I'm saying,
they're developing a program for you.
Yeah, they're developing, and what they've got is an amateur support program. So if you have problems on race day on a KTM, you can stop over there and they'll help you out.
And Husqvarna too. I saw earlier today they were fixing a 50. So basically, they sell parts and fix bikes, I guess, for the more amateur riders. So, and this is only for like a KTM Husqvarna. Tomorrow with the bikes, we'll get more into detail, but it's just an awesome thing that they have.
An awesome program. They're going to be here throughout the rest of the season as well. There is the number 3 of Chris Borch checking in. Last check we had of Chris Borch, he was running in that 6th place position, 1 minute and 44 seconds behind Walker Fowler. So what's going on with Chris Borch? You know, I mean, generally he is a solid top 5, 4, even 3rd place rider, especially early in the race, but he has not been a factor all race long today, it doesn't seem.
He hasn't found his mojo, dude. Hasn't found his groove yet. He hasn't looked like Chris Borch to me one time today. Was very stiff on a couple of the hills, I noticed, letting the bike, just gripping the bike really tight. The bike was controlling him in a couple spots. So it's just one of those days for Chris. Again, as we see, Chris is the all-time ATV winner here in GNCC with 75 wins. The guy knows how to win, but just not in his groove today. That's what I'm seeing.
75 overall wins. That is more wins than any single person in GNCC, including Barry Hawk, who did it on both motorcycles and ATVs. Right now, as we look at it, we got a new leader, Bryson Hill out front of Adam McGill. Will he be able to hold on to that position? Cole Richardson up, the 3rd last year's winner. Are we going to see a shake-up before the checkers? Stick around. GNCC Live continues after this.
When you crave the canyon passes, rocky trails, rutted tracks, the podiums and personal records, it becomes part of you. The choice now is, do you become a wanderer or the wanderer? You just need to ride where you belong.
Born of family values and a homegrown work ethic, Cometic Gaskets seals your machine so you can focus on the finish line. Cometic Gaskets are the competitive standard for racers who demand the very best. Cometic Gaskets are constructed from superior materials designed to perform in the most demanding environment, whether it's championships on the line or a day in the dirt with friends. Professionals and enthusiasts depend on Cometic. Cometic Gaskets, sealing championships since 1989.
It's hard to put our adventures on hold, but now is the perfect time to prepare for their return. AMSOIL has your back with fast, free shipping, and ordering has never been easier. Just look up your vehicle, select your product, add an oil change to your cart, and check out. Spend $50 on AMSOIL products and shipping is on us. Order now at AMSOIL.com.
Even when you're the best, you never stop striving to be better. With over 40 years of experience in motorcycle sales and service, we know racing. Our inventory of Yamaha motorcycles, sport bikes, dirt bikes, ATVs, and side-by-sides is extensive and constantly changing. Stop by LoJack Cycle Sales today in Tarentum, Pennsylvania, and visit our online inventory at www.lojacks.com. Yamaha YZs. It's why we ride.
Hi, my name is Andrea Lieb, the director of On Track School. How would you like to go to a school where we take into consideration how students learn best? Well, we do that because we find if we can build the curriculum around the things you are interested in, you're going to do a better job. The mission at On Track School is that educational success is possible while chasing your dreams. Not only will our staff help students to achieve success, they will cheer you on to the finish line. We encourage you to check out On Track School at ontrackschool.com, where we can help you chase your dreams and still get a quality education.
We are American motorcyclists. We are members of the American Motorcyclist Association. Racers, fans, and crew. We come together for this sport we love, to race together, to grow together. We start young, and not so young. We race motorcycles and ATVs. We become friends, we become family. We compete for weekend bragging rights and national championships. We make memories on the toughest off-road courses in the country and on the best motocross tracks in the world. Some of us aspire to the speed and poise of road racing or the fierce competitiveness of American flat track, and we honor our greatest champions in the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame. Through it all, we cheer, we win, and we lose. We are racing. We are the AMA. Race with us. Be part of the greatest sport in the world. Be an American motorcyclist. Join us today at www.amajoin.com/join-now.
Live coverage of the 2020 GNCC series on RacerTV.com is brought to you by MMI. Get there faster, smarter. Specialized turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
And welcome back to GNCC Live here in the hills of West Virginia, southern West Virginia, of course, at the Boy Scout camp, the Summit Reserve, just outside of Beckley, located right next to Oak Hill, West Virginia, if you're familiar with that area. And, of course, it is the Mountaineer GNCC presented by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. But this is our first responder weekend as well, as we pay tribute to the first responders, the military, of course, and then all the first responders here in the homeland, talking about the medical teams, the EMTs, the firefighters, the police officers, the doctors, the nurses, and everyone that works in that field out there on the front lines, keeping us safe and keeping us healthy as America. We salute you on this weekend.
I couldn't have said it better, Rodney. We absolutely do. And, you know, it's with solemn souls that we stand here on the weekend of 9/11.
I know.
You know, remembering the biggest act of terrorism on American soil.
Like Ricky Towery stated earlier, it changed every one of our lives, and it changed us all individually in some way, shape, or form that day.
You know, I was at a loss of words. Ryan asked me, he said, I've never really been taught about it. And, you know, I started to explain it to Ryan, exactly what happened, and it's something that parents need to do with their children. Ryan wasn't even born.
Adam McGill oh no, that is Bryson Neal.
Bryson.
Yeah, Bryson Neal out front. Listen, look at this. He's starting to stretch it out. He is riding like a man on a mission.
Wow.
Yes,
He's wow. He is launching that out there.
Doubling that, and McGill nowhere to be seen.
It looks like a motocross, and McGill doing the same thing nearly, but they're making it look like a moto track out there in the woods right now. That's pretty impressive stuff.
I tell you, that's nerves of steel right now, because that could go bad, Rodney. As Ryan will tell you, you come up short or you skip one side or the other, you're hitting a tree in fourth gear.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's dedication, and that's confidence all at the same time.
This part with lappers, not good. That's not a pro rider, though.
And you notice the difference of those riders through that section and your leaders.
Well, there's 30 seconds back to Cole Richardson, by the way, which I believe may be coming right now.
I was talking to the people in the RacerTV trailer. They're all saying Bryson Neal's most likely going to take it because he's just... I'm not trying to say he's faster than McGill. I think he's just more aggressive right now than McGill.
And that's a very good point. You got a very good point. I'm not saying that if Adam wasn't aggressive that
Walker
he could.
Fowler.
Yeah, Walker's still up there trying to hold on to a top 5, top 6 position, and that's what happened at the end of the last lap. Yeah. So what we're seeing visually on the screen and what we're seeing as far as the top 10 overall may vary a little bit as passes are made throughout the course of this of these laps. Now, when we get split times in there and things like that in the future, which is coming, we'll see that change throughout the course of the race as well. But right now, an hour and 49, almost an hour and 50 minutes. We're about 10 minutes out from a checker flag, and that'll put us right at the 2-hour mark. Our leaders are due in 10 minutes and 41 seconds. We'll be right at 2 hours when they come across that finish line. And I'll tell you, at the intensity that Bryson Neal is racing at right now, I have to think that we might see maybe the fastest lap of the day on this lap, even with the lap traffic out there.
Absolutely. He's got that momentum right now. He got the track position he wants, number 1. Made the move aggressively to get past McGill. Right now, last thing he wants to do is surrender that. Last thing he wants to do is have a break in concentration or let up.
Yes. And one thing about Bryson Neal, he had literally everything dialed in. The start, he started in 3rd spot and got into the woods. And I'm pretty sure he had the lead for a bit. Walker took it away from him, and then he got it back, stayed for about a lap ahead, and then McGill came, got him, and now he got it back. So it's just great ride for Bryson Neal. Got everything the way he wants it. Now all he has to do is finish this strong.
Wow, this has been a rather interesting race throughout the course of the day. Britt Sturdivant grabbing the early lead in this one, the whole shot, if you will. And that was pretty exciting for West Virginia natives, no doubt about that. Walker Fowler was second right behind him. I think Bryson Neal and then Chris Borch was all right there together in a conglomeration heading into out of that 3rd turn region. And, of course, as time wore on, we got a chance to see what was going on. Man, things really got shook up out there. We saw different leaders, and we saw the battling nose to tail the way that it was. But it eventually, I mean, know, and we were a little bit surprised to see Adam McGill in third. And then it wasn't long after we got that surprising news that Adam McGill was leading this one and had led lap 2 and lap 3. And most of so far, a good part of lap number 4 here. Now, as we've gotten to a little further into this, obviously Neil has gotten around and that gap is starting to open up. But we saw the intensity that last time around whenever these guys came through just a few moments ago of what Neil was riding at. And I got to know, I mean, and you got to know, everybody's got to know, you look at Bryson Neal, he is a chiseled piece of perfection. You know, you have to think that diet, that training, that everything, the way that he looks, if physical appearance has anything to do with it, you would look at him and say, that man is fit, that man is healthy, probably more so than he ever has been in his career. Knowing how he rides an ATV and knowing his mindset and know how his desires and how hungry he is, hey, you put those two things together like that, these things are inevitably going to start happening. Even with guys like Walker Fowler that are in their heyday, so to speak, these guys start to win. These guys start to learn. They start to figure it out. And once they do that, that's whenever they become the bigger threats. The win here and the win there is good. But when you win and then you maybe not win the next race, but then you come back and you win that following race, and then, you know, you're in contention again. That whenever you start seeing that happen and you're in that position, more and more times than not at the end of the race, that's whenever the wins start coming. And Walker Fowler will tell you that as well as anybody. I mean, you can lead a race. You can lead, you can be up front, but man, it's that last couple miles, that last half mile that really tells the tale of the tape, especially in a heated battle, because people go out, they look for that one secret line that they're going to be able to pull it off. And how many times he just pulled that line out of nowhere and got right around me. Didn't he see it coming? Or you hear that a whole lot, and that's a possibility that we might be able to do. And we're getting a report here that we've got McGill back up front with no visor.
When I said that, I was looking at the black riding gear, and I thought, yeah, that's updated from I thought I saw him out in front of the yellow helmet. Yeah.
Yeah, so Neil in the number 2 spot.
So here we go.
Oh, maybe not.
Oh,
not Neil in second.
Okay.
Maybe not Neil in second. So,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
the pressure right there just came in.
And the intensity.
And it just took him.
And just like you said, looks like you guys said, I mean, you're riding at that pace. Everything is great. And if you can keep that momentum, but just get 6 inches to the left, clip that tree, snag that root, that rock, whatever, it changes the whole face of things.
You throw that T-bone down in front of my dog, and you let her eat most of it, and you go reach for that steak, she's going to do everything she can do to keep that steak. McGill's that dog on that steak right now, bro. He's going to do everything he can to get every bite.
And the thing, too, is you guys saw the intensity of Bryson Neal. I feel like he just was overspeed, you know, and, like, he's in the lead. He has a good gap.
Took too big a bite of that steak.
And it just struck him.
Yes.
And that really sucks, too, because he's probably like 3 miles away from the finish. So, suck to suck, I guess.
Yeah.
But, like, it happens. Sometimes you need to know when to push, and sometimes you need to know when you have to chill it out.
Coming from Ryan Amancio.
Young Ryan Amancio. Sometimes you got to know when to hold him, know when to fold him, he said.
It's easy to say that sitting here, but you know under race conditions what it's like also, Ryan.
Yeah, because final lap for me is the most terrifying thing in the world, I swear. Like, one mistake you do is this, almost clip that, wow. But one thing on final lap, it's the most terrifying thing for me because one mistake could just end your whole race, you know? So I always try to not make mistakes, but push so second place doesn't come behind me, you know? So it's kind of more of a you push or you don't, and you kind of just risk it for the biscuit.
He did not.
He did.
He did not.
He's fitting right in, Megawatt.
Shut the mic off.
Drop the mic is what I said.
I'm telling you, man. Unbelievable.
Risk it for the biscuit. Ryan, I love having you in booth, buddy. No doubt about it. He's got a great and fresh perspective. There's no doubt. He sees things that we don't see.
Absolutely.
I think it's the great thing. Being from a rider's perspective and from a younger man's perspective, you know, he might recognize things that we just let go by the wayside. Wow. Something you can't let go by the wayside is the size of those rocks. They're turning into boulders. They're turning into boulders. Those are not rocks. Those are small boulders out there.
Wheel crushers right there, bro. Tire balls, whatever. Those are wheel crushers.
Now imagine they having air in their tire. Every lap stopping for a tire change, I swear.
Yeah,
you need to have that one race where old-fashioned.
Hey, I'm right there with you. We need to do a retro ATV race where you cannot run the tire balls or the tire spines or anything like that.
That's what we need.
Tire blocks, none of that
for
stuff.
Ironman, you know?
Oh, that would be good. It might have to do a one-off race because that could really throw a wrench in some championships and things like that. But hey, that's an idea. I like that idea. Maybe we ought to do one whole retro and make snowshoe like that.
Yes.
No moose bibs for snowshoe, no tire balls for snowshoe.
That
would be interesting. That's just speculation. That's just us talking nonsense here as we watch these riders out near the Monster Mile, coming toward the Monster Mile, near mile marker 9. So we're all right, here comes our leader. I believe it is Adam McGill. We should be seeing on camera here in just a few moments. We stand by. We wait with bated breath to see how this is all going to unfold. What looked like was going to be an Adam McGill race earlier, then looked like it was going to be a Bryson Neal race, back to looking like it is going to be an Adam McGill race here, and maybe, who knows?
There he is.
There he is. That is Adam McGill, my friends. Look at that. And I see what you're talking about, letting that quad dance underneath him as his head stays head. And look at that, no visor, no visor, and no goggles for Adam McGill, but it don't slow him down. He's tough. He's nuts, my friend. He is West by God Virginian all the way through and through. Nothing going to slow him down, nothing going to take him down, it doesn't look like.
And one thing, too, he probably has that in mind, that he does not want to do what Bryson Neal did. He probably has that behind his head. One mistake could end it all. Is that Jared McClure? No, that's Cole Richardson.
Cole Richardson, yeah, Cole Richardson up to a second place position now, it looks like.
That's so frustrating for Bryson Neal. I would like to see the GoPro for that.
Yeah,
that's what GoPros are.
That YouTube channel is going to light up whenever Bryson posts this video. There's no doubt about that.
For sure.
Well, I can tell you right now, West Virginia turned out to be almost heaven for Adam McGill, man. The country road's taking him home right now. Just a few minutes ago, we're going to bring this one in. We're going to put it to bed. I believe they were at mile marker 9.
Yeah.
And just about a mile and a half to go. And we might have the 4th winner of this season.
Is that Fowler?
That's Fowler.
That's Fowler. He may be back up to a 3rd place position or 4th place position there. And that...
Yep, that's their place position, I'm pretty sure.
All right, so we are about a minute out, folks. If we turn our attention to the racetrack, and if you're down at the finish line, you could turn your attention to the wood line, because riding along the wood line in the closing moments of this, heading for home here in the great state of West Virginia, Adam McGill, the 521, the Gator, if you will, on his way home to a big and huge and monumental victory in his racing career, and on so many different levels. And you know, it's been a great weekend for Adam. Adam, after giving to the veterans on this first responder weekend here this weekend, and doing the things that he does for first responders and for veterans and things of that nature, to be able to come out here, capture this win in his home state, in front of this home state crowd, and to do it on a weekend after he has provided so much for, I mean, this right here is certainly a very monumental weekend for the 521.
All right, let's be honest. All right, so let's be honest. We weren't gonna think, Bryson Neal is gonna make a mistake and Adam's gonna win. We thought, like, Bryson Neal would have won this. Who would have thought Walker Fowler would have got back to 3rd after that injury, you know?
Yeah.
Anything can happen, that's the saying.
Yeah, and who knows? We're going to see as our leaders make their way through the final and closing laps here at the Rocky Mountain ATV MC Mountaineer GNCC, as riders await, and our checker flag awaits the arrival of this rider right here. He has no visor, he has no goggles, but he has got the glory, my friends, as he makes his way through the final turns. And at the checkers, he does the donut in celebration. Adam McGill takes the Mountaineer GNCC win here in front of the home state crowd.
And one thing too, Adam McGill, he's got that he's got that celebration still down.
Yeah, absolutely.
That years ago, always doing that donut, you know.
Let me tell you something. He'll pull that move when he wins a bingo game at age 65. Okay?
Yeah.
He'll never lose that move. Believe it.
Oh, that's great. So Adam McGill taking the win. Looks like Cole Richardson going to come in. Go ahead for that second place position.
Yep. Cole, he actually did pretty good. He wasn't up there until most half the race to after, so that's pretty good for Cole. Good. Look at that. Look at that. That's what I call some teamwork right there. Is that his dad? I think that's his dad right there.
Oh, yeah, the mustache, I'm sure, is down there congratulating. Everyone is excited.
Look at that. No wheel. Look at that. It's flat wheel. Did you see that?
Those rocks out there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's why. And look at Fowler taking third place. He's happy with that, and I would too. I'm going to be honest. What happened to him before, I'd be honest.
Walker, especially dropping back to a 5th or 6th place position like that. Where our top 3 are in Megawatt. Total race time out there for your winner, 2 hours, 22 seconds for Adam McGill. Finishing 30 seconds back behind him was Cole Richardson. Another 35 seconds back in third was Walker Fowler. The Cobra, a.k.a. Sneaky Snake, Jared McClure in that 4th place position. And still no sign of Bryson Neal. We talked about him being so consistent, not finishing outside of a 4th place position. Today is going to be that day. It looked like he was in track for a win, and this could be one of his lesser strong finishes. There's Walker Fowler. You can tell this is kind of an emotional day for him. You know he had to dig deep for this one.
Absolutely.
And one thing too, Bryson Neal, we were talking about how consistent, like you guys were saying right now, how consistent he was and how he doesn't make mistakes. I think we just jinxed him right there. Next time we should probably not jinx him.
There you go. We'll try not to. Well, we'll just say he makes some mistakes on occasion, but he minimizes his mistakes. And
this one he can't minimize.
Nah, this one a little bit more monumental than what he anticipated or expected. Look at that Mountaineer trophy. Going to be heading down here in just a couple moments as we'll be talking with our top 3 overall finishers here today, which will be Adam McGill, Cole Richardson, and Walker Fowler. And now, I mean, wow, that's good news for Cole Richardson. It should help him in his bid for at least the number 2 plate for the 2021 season, and this to wrap it up for this 2020 season. I know he's had his struggles, and to see that light coming to shine and a possibility certainly is good news for him.
You know, one thing that I like about what I don't like and what I like about summer break is you don't know how your competitor is coming. You don't know if he's faster or you guys are about the same speed. But the good thing about summer break, it gives you that chance to kind of try to hop ahead and be a level higher.
Yep, I'm gonna head on out, guys. You guys keep things under cover and keep it all cool. Ryan Amancio, thank you again for all your help today. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Megawatt Matt Watson as well. I'm headed down to talk to our top 3 overall.
All right, thank you, Rodney.
That's going to be a conversation, I can guarantee you, with McGill, and no doubt about that. But I got to tell you, Ryan, everything we talked about before the race came into play. Expect the unexpected. Holy cow, that came into play. Talking about maybe new players up front, that came into play. We saw that rider come in with a wheel missing. Although not for the win, the track came into play as well today. Those big rocks that we talked about. Not exactly sure what happened to Bryson Neal yet. We don't have that story. What happened to him in that second position when McGill got back by him. So going to be interesting. And like Rodney said, YouTube's going to be blowing up.
Yes, for sure.
Some of that GoPro footage.
Oh,
but at the end of the day, what we have is a hard charge by McGill.
Yes.
He felt it today. The mojo was gone. He enjoyed the track. That was obvious. So he got good track position early. What we saw was Walker Fowler. We had talked about an injury. We don't know the extent of the injury. We don't know how bad the fingers hurt. We know the fingers definitely hurt. Guess what? Came into play today.
Yep.
Not as bad as some people thought. Not as bad as it could have been by any means. And last of all, consistency. Here's Cole Richardson. Been consistent all season long. Cole's had, let's see, since he's been back, Cole's had a 2, a 3, His worst finish in 8, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 2. So very consistent. Here he is again with a second today. So almost everything we talked about earlier today came into play. No doubt. We say anything can and will happen at GNCC. You saw proof of that here today, without question. Getting these riders, as you see down there near the podium right now. Going to do our social distance podium, a little different. This morning I had the wireless mics down there for everybody. Stood a little bit back off the podium. Don't have the options of getting everybody up there at one time, but nonetheless, good to get back to the podium procedures and hear exactly what happened from these riders throughout the course of the day.
Yeah.
Chris Borsch not having the day he wanted to have today.
Yes, but I feel like it always comes into play, and when that saying comes to life, the saying of anything can happen, that's what happened here today. And you can be sure when Bryson Neal comes in, everyone's going to be asking, what happened? Are you okay? What happened? Like, what'd you do? And I feel like that Bryson Neal pushed the limits a bit too much, in my opinion, because I felt like he already had a 10-second lead, so that was enough for the final 3 miles, you know. But it happens. Sometimes you just get that overexcited kind of feeling and make that mistake before you even get there. So I hope he's okay. I hope he's nothing wrong. But, you know, that's one thing that's always going to be in his mind from now on. It's going to be as a lesson as not to do what he did here at this race. It looked like he was going to take this win. And what happened?
The roles have been reversed so many times, Ryan. Adam McGill has gone in to the last lap leading so many times, only to overcook a corner, only to smash a tree, run over a lapper, you know, that kind of thing, because he was riding too aggressive. He had the bit between his teeth, man. He wanted that win. And could have possibly been the situation today with Bryson, but the man that wasn't going to be denied was McGill. Was in the lead 3 different times today. Tells you he belonged there, he wanted to be there, and I guarantee you coming in, missing the visor and everything else, no matter what happened out there on the track, I told you, he was not going to relent today by no means.
Oh, yeah. And this kind of reminds me of 2015 or 2016 at Limestone. At the end of the race, 2 corners to go, pretty sure it was Chris Borage trying to make the pass for... was that? I think that was Adam McGill.
It was McGill.
Yeah.
Yes.
He came into the corner. He passed it, but got into the corner to higher speed and finished the fourth.
Exactly.
So anything happens, so, you know, you just got to put it into a lesson and always keep that in mind and not push as much.
Absolutely. And again, it is normally that last lap. You know, that's when you're tired. That's when the mistakes come. That's when, you know, the fatigue sets in.
Well, yeah, for sure. But, you know, I feel like Adam, after he probably crashed or something because his visor's not even on, I think he would have probably already almost, like, gave up or at least put in his head, I don't think I can catch him anymore. And it just always happens to the best of us, you know. Bryson Neal, great run. At the start, he had everything he needed. Just that final lap, it gets everyone, and that final lap, it's always going to be there for everyone for a lesson. So Bryson Neal, this is going to be one of his best lessons yet. So he's never going to forget this because it's a win. A win is a win. And Adam McGill, has he came in yet? Bryson Neal 9th.
Yep. So looking at McGill, Richardson, Fowler, as we knew, 1, 2, 3. Sneaky in that number 4 position, Jared McClure. Chris Borsch, look at this. Gathers it back up, puts himself in the top 5, man. Good for you, Chris Borsch. Awesome, coming out of Sunbury, PA. Early in the race, looked a little stiff. Just didn't look like he had found his flow. Obviously did, worked his way back through the pack into a great position. Josh Merritt on that number 11 machine coming out of Akron, Ohio in the number 6 spot. Austin Abney, look at him, man. Austin Abney on that 703. Putting himself up there. Absolutely great ride by him. Greg Covert, been on the podium several times this year. That number 701 machine with the 8th place finish. John Claudia Jr., look at this. Holy cow, that number 712 machine. Great run for him. And Bryson Neal rounding out your top overall.
Yes, and he finished 9th place in XT1. So wonder what happened. He probably like fell off camber or something like that. That couldn't get his bike back in.
Yep, simply had a problem getting back onto the course, I'm sure. It sounds like Rodney and the guys are testing the mics down there right now.
We can hear you, Rodney.
All right, yeah, we're good. We're good. Give that microphone to this guy right here. And Adam McGill, congratulations to you, my friend, the West Virginia native, taking the win here in West Virginia. Brother, flip that switch up on your microphone right there. That'll turn it on.
Oh, we're live now.
Yeah, we are live, and you get to control the microphone yourself today as well. Adam McGill, congratulations to you, man. We saw you on the podium earlier this year down at Camp Coker, and that was a squeaker for you today. But, dude, you were on it right from the get-go.
Yeah, I felt good. You know, we've been working, I wouldn't say working real hard, but just enjoying my time off, you know, and trying to reconnect. And believe it or not, coming up here on the start line, it's like, you know, sometimes you just lose the luster. And I was about there. And honest to God, like, I don't know what it was today. I don't know if it was just, you know, people's looking out for me or what, but damn, it clicked and it felt good. Holy shit. It's been a while.
It has. And dude, I mean, to see that, I mean, it wasn't, I mean, it was right from the get-go. I mean, you top three, you, Walker, Bryson, I mean, that was one of the most heated three-man shootouts that I've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, it felt really good. I mean, we had a good start and got up into third pretty quick. I would say probably a mile and a half in, and made some passes, got up into second, but never really got in the lead till the second lap. And Bryson made a pass on me there probably 2 miles in, 3 miles in on an uphill. We caught a lapper, and he got around me, and I stayed on him for a little bit, and then, man, I just went ass over teacups and tagged a tree, and I lost my visor and, you know, did all that stuff, rolling around on the ground like an ostrich, and got back up, and I'm like, all right, just keep it together. Let's finish right here where we're at. Let's do second. And I come probably 2 or 3 more miles, and there he is with a broken ball joint. And I'm like, I mean, he said he was okay, you know, so I kept going. And, man, I come through this field and just to see the emotion again and to feel that just when, you know, you're like, not at the lowest of low, but like emotionally you're just done. And, man, the old guy can still do it, and I'm hurting pretty good, too.
The Gator still got it, man, no doubt about it. Reach down and grab that nice-looking trophy you got right there. The Mountaineer GNCC champion, ladies and gentlemen, Adam McGill, doing it in front of the home state crowd here today with a big smile, my friend. You deserve that one. There's no doubt about it, buddy. Who do you want to say thanks to?
Hear me?
Let's let it go. Let go of it. Wiggle it around a little bit. All right, give it here. All right. Check.
Everybody got me now? All right. Yeah, first, you know, I definitely like to thank my family for being here. You know, my wife, Haley, my father, for just really drinking all my Crown so I can't drink it through the week. And, you know, my sister, Haley, in Florida, which is my trainer. And, you know, my other sister, Kristen, in Lakin for coming up. And then, obviously, all my great sponsors. You know, I have Ober Tires, which they are available at Amazon.com/Ober. Obviously, Moose Racing, Parts Unlimited. We have Pro Graphics, HC Conditioning, Custom Access Shocks, Dirtworks Battery Boxes, BCC Skids, ODI Grips, Worst Connection Fast Company, Evans, Hess Motorsports, UPP Tire Blocks, Sunstar, Leat, Renegade, MMR for my harnesses, Mayer Fenders, Rage ATV Motors, Blood Lubricants, Sycra, FMF Hyper, Dirt Specialties, Outerwears, Hot Cams, Alco, Checo Skid Plates, and Dutch Solutions, Streamline, Wasco Pistons, Twin Air, Henson, Cometic, and DP. And obviously, to all you fans, stop by the trailer. Let's have a drink.
Ladies and gentlemen, the West Virginia madman himself, the Gator, Adam McGill, taking the win at the Mountaineer GNCC. Well, congratulations to you, Adam. No doubt about that, my friend. That is certainly well-deserved. We'll let him get a few pictures. We'll get our second-place position finisher up here in just a few moments and talking about the Cole train himself, Mr. Cole Richardson, as he is a huge and monumental part of this battle today. You know, we didn't even count him in it until the last lap, and then all of a sudden he became a huge part of what was taking place out there. And look at that, the crowd all getting
together with, well, one little young lady getting together with Adam McGill there. Look at that. Pictures are look at that. Adam, you look good like that, man. You really do. That number one finger like that with that finger instead of the other one looks a lot better. Adam McGill, certainly a true a blue GNCCer through and through. There's no doubt about it, and a fan favorite, especially here in the great state of West Virginia. One more time, Adam McGill, ladies and gentlemen, your winner here at the Mountaineer. As we bring up to the podium our second place position finisher here today. How about it? Put your hands together for Cole, the Coltrane Richardson. The crowd goes wild for Coltrane. And again, wow, Cole, I don't want to say I counted you out of this one, but I kind of counted you out of this one today.
I honestly did there too at the beginning. You know, we got off to a decent start. The track was actually a little wetter than I expected, but you know, I just didn't really ride very well at the beginning. You know, the bike was handling great. Like I said, we did testing this summer. You know, I kind of felt good. I had a little get off Tuesday and hurt my shoulder a little bit, so I didn't really ride all week. But, you know, it felt decent. But, you know, that first hour, you know, we just couldn't get the ball rolling. And, you know, I kind of just settled in and, you know, things just started to click. And next thing you know, I was in third. And then, you know, towards the end there, it's a bummer. I guess I talked to Adam, and Bryson ended up dropping a ball joint or braking. And, you know, that's a bummer on his end. And, you know, so we got second handed to us today. But, you know, I think we would have ended up on the podium, but I'll take a second.
There you go, man. Those valuable championship points help out. I know it's going to be tough to track down Walker, but second place is still a pretty good place to be, huh?
Yeah, you know, like I said, it's unfortunate Bryson and I broke, but if I'm correct, I think we moved up to second in points, but I'm going to have to find a magical genie if I'm going to catch Walker. So, you know, he has a pretty good gap, you know, even on a bad day, you know, he's probably going to consider this a bad day. He's still got third, you know, he's always up here, and, you know, he's going to be tough to beat. But, you know, I'm pumped for Adam to get a win. You know, he said it's been 2 years since he got a win, so I'm pumped for him. I'm pumped to be on the podium and, you know, see what we do next race.
Without a question, a rather demanding racetrack here this weekend.
Yeah, you know, it was rocky. You know, I made a few calls that I actually didn't do any testing on. I made some changes and switched some rear tires. I don't think I ran an ungrooved tire since 2013, but just a last-minute decision, made some changes, and, you know, it worked pretty well. You know, we got the ball rolling the second half of the race, and I want to consider it a bad day. We're on the podium, and I'm pumped.
Congratulations to you on your second place finish today.
Thank you. Thank.
Go ahead and thank your sponsors. Yep.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the whole Teely Energy Racing crew. I just talked to Ronnie that got up the track, and I think he said he ended up third. You know, we did some riding together this summer, you know, put in some good time. So I'm pumped for him. The whole Action Off-Road crew, my dad, my girlfriend, my mom, her parents, my mechanic Aaron, that, you know, he doesn't come to the races anymore, but he's still working behind the scenes. And I tell you, I beat that thing and hit some rocks pretty hard. And, you know, we got to the finish. Kenda Tires, DWT, Moose Racing, Alpine Star, Atlas Neck Braces, Motowaz ATV Shocks Hauser, you know, and all the fans out here in West Virginia. This isn't too far from home, but, you know, all the fans, the whole GNCC crew, and, you know, just happy to be out here.
Cole Richardson, second place here at the Mountaineer GNCC, folks. As you can grab your hardware there, and we'll bring up, and like you said, like Cole Richardson said there just a moment ago, he's going to look at this as a bad day, but anybody else would be looking at this as a wonderful day. Put your hands together for the #1 and defending champion, Walker Fowler, third place today.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. Now, Walker, big smile on your face, and rightfully so. You know, we kind of kept the cat in the bag until you got on the racetrack talking about the, well, what put you a little bit behind the 8 ball on the day. But I'll tell you, it was the roids, right? But the one thing that we do want to point out, wow, what a demanding track out there. What demanding competition. You know, had you not known, you probably would have never realized that, that maybe there might be something wrong with you out there. Walker, you rode so stellar today.
You know, just it's days like today that salvage a championship, and when you put everything aside, that you just got to go out there and get the job done. You can be sick, you can be hurt, you can be down in the dumps, and you got to go do your job for 2 hours. And I think I'd put us GNCC athletes, ATV and motorcycle, against any competitor on earth. Our pain tolerance, our will to win, just our desire to race and be here and compete is bar none. So just hats off to all these guys. We ran 10 deep for an hour and a half. I think that shows the talent pool of this class. Man, it was so cool to have Adam McGill up there. We haven't seen him race that well since snowshoe every year, and since we're not going to have snowshoe, I guess he decided that West Virginia was going to be his day. And man, it was really fun to watch him up there. And today you could override the track, and I think Bryson and I early, we were kind of overriding the track. I hit a couple of trees, was getting over some berms. Bryson would he'd pull us 20 seconds, and then he'd be upside down, and then he'd be over there, and he'd be over here. And old Adam, he just would chug along, and he'd just pick us off one at a time. And ironically, the gnarly spots is when he would go fast. Wow. And that was really tough because Bryson and I and Cole and Jared, we would blitz the fast stuff and then cruise the bad stuff. And man, McGill would just pull 20 seconds out of nowhere. And it was just because he's just a West Virginia corn-fed boy, born and raised, Crown Royal. And man, it shows today. So, but no, it's for our program. We're just pumped to be out here. We didn't get the whole shot, but I knew I had to get a good start. And if I could get out there and run my pace, I could kind of control where I needed to be and what to do. So, I hung in there as long as I could. And honestly, now knowing kind of how the race finished, I ended up having one mistake, and it wasn't really my fault. It was just a gnarly section. This track is rough in spots. And coming up a hill, I got a little sideways. I had a tree get hooked in behind my Nerf bar, between my Nerf bar and my tire, and it took 5 of us to get the quad off the hill. We had to pick it up to our chest, walk it about 3 feet up the hill, and then drop it. And it was just a bummer. It was just a crap deal. And then I rode my heart out and, got back to a podium position. And we're just pumped to be up here. We're pumped to be racing. With the whole COVID crap, I'm so sick of that. But we're here. We're racing. And good points day. Championships coming. I'm just pumped. I'm just happy to be here, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Walker Fowler taking home the bronze today. Yeehaw! Yeah, and of course doing it a very storied 2 hours, I'm sure. We talk about storied careers, storied season, but that 2 hours was very storied today.
I'm just so blessed. We had a tough summer. There's no way around that. My mother's a saint. I'm going to buy her one heck of a vacation when this year's over. She's had to deal with myself. Our buddy Earl, herself, she had some issues. We had a bad 8 weeks. That's to say the least. My dad, Mark, my whole crew, my girlfriend, just everybody, the Pipers, just kind of keeping us on the straight and narrow. And when you're down in the dumps, that's like I said, when you win life in your worst moments, and you got to stay strong and just power through stuff. So, like I said, I'm just pumped. All the fans, man, it was so cool. That start line was packed. This facility's fantastic. I just want to give the glory to God first and foremost. There's definitely days, he's watching over you, and I've had an angel riding with me for a long time. So just can't thank the good Lord enough. Like I said, I got to give it up to my parents, my whole family, my support crew, the whole WFR, GBC Yamaha Fly Racing team. These guys just make this program happen. SSI decals keeping the quad looking great. Land Mills XC, Fox Suspension, FMF, VP Racing, Alpine Star, Scott Goggles. Man, the goggles were so clutch today. What a tough track. I can't reiterate how challenging this track is. Hinson clutch components, precision stabilizer was huge today. These rocks are just brutal. GYTR components, IMS, CV4, Yamalube oils, ODI grips, GPS wheels, anti-gravity batteries, getting us off to another killer start today, as well as webcams, everyone at Web, Fuel Customs, tire balls. Holy cow, you can't say enough about tire balls on a day like today. I think I might have 2 down tires, but you never know with the tire balls. Definitely want to thank Lone Star, DP Brakes, Works Connection, Grenade Coatings, Atlas Brace, Moto Experts, Waynesburg, Yamaha, UPP, D&V Trucking, Intense Fab, the Richardsons, Cometic Gasket, Quad Tech. And definitely this weekend's the first responders salute race, in memorial September 11th. So we can't thank our military men and women, our first responders enough. All our great fans that keep supporting this series, and everyone that just helps support GNCC. Definitely want to give a shout out to Jericho Edmondson. He's a youth rider that runs AXCC and some of the Iowa series. He was in a pretty bad accident, so we're thinking about you, buddy, and your family. And like I said, man, just my boy Mark Notman, just a guy, man. He's just a killer guy, and man, we're going to win a lot of championships.
You have won a lot of championships already. Walker Fowler, ladies and gentlemen, third place in the XC1 and the overall here today at the Mountaineer GNCC. As we're going to take a real quick moment to visit quickly with our top 3 in the XC2 Pro-Am class. Our top 3 in that third place position, the 714 from out near the Pittsburgh area. They call him a lot of different things. I call him Little Ronnie Rush. Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the podium next to congratulate him and, of course, on his bronze medal. At least I thought that's what we were doing. Where's Ronnie at? He's over reveling in this podium position. Come on up, Ronnie. These boys are acting like they might be a little tired, like they may have exerted a little bit of energy out there in the mountains of West Virginia today. And I have to say that quite like
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up here at Racer TV with our coverage of the Mountaineer 2020. Our first responders salute today. We had a great day of racing.
Yep.
On behalf of Rodney Tomlin, Ryan Amancio, and myself, Megawatt Matt Watson, all our staff at Racer TV, thank you so much, and we will see you tomorrow for the bike action. Same place, same time. See you then.
Yes, sir. See you then.